Welcome to What If Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you, and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Our army of IdahoSports.com action photographers are covering games all over the state. And now we've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the Action Photos link in the menu.
Dear Detour, you asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong. Toyota Trucks.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Always entertaining and occasionally controversial, the Treasure Valley Prepcast covers every inch of District 3 activities in Idaho.
Coal Valley, we were so much Melba at the 2A WIC that I personally probably owe them an apology that I kind of brushed over Coal Valley. Here's me eating my crow.
Hosted by Logan Green, the Treasure Valley Prepcast features the biggest stories happening in your area. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing, or check out each week's episode on the IdahoSports.com YouTube channel, Facebook page, or wherever you download podcasts.
At Valleywide Cooperative, we're here when you need us. For 100 years, we have been here to help you with food, fuel, and good old-fashioned advice. And for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life, which is why we pour so much into the communities around us. We've employed hundreds of your neighbors. We take pride in that, and in giving back millions in sponsorships, grants, donations, and scholarships. It's our way of saying thanks. We're Valleywide, and yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
I am not good enough. I will never believe I'm ready.
College isn't for me, and I need to stop thinking my life can change. If only I could see things differently. My life can change, and I need to stop thinking college isn't for me.
I'm ready. I will never believe I am not good enough.
Live from Middleton High School in Middleton, it is Treasure Valley Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Coverage of Treasure Valley Game Night is presented by the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Valleywide Cooperative, Next Steps Idaho, your local Toyota dealer, and the Idaho Transportation Department. Once again, tonight we're live from Middleton. It's the Vikings taking host to Thunder Ridge. They're making the trip over from eastern Idaho and still searching for their first win of the year. Titans 0-5 record as the 2-2 Vikings take the field as they enter the screen over to your right. But Lucas Gephardt and Ryan Luke here for Idaho Sports bringing you coverage of this one tonight. So let's start with Thunder Ridge, Ryan. Tough start to the year for them. They're having a hard time scoring points. And defense isn't helping out much either. 52 points against Madison last week, 34 to Skyline, 41 to Hillcrest, 34 to Idaho Falls. You get the picture, 28 to Minico. So Thunder Ridge looking to get things on the right track here tonight.
Yeah, and it's a good team. I mean, it's a big school. It's a fairly new school. They're one of the only 5A schools in the Idaho Falls area. That being said, they're still trying to get their feet around them and establish some of that football culture. And so, hats off to the kids for coming over here and taking on, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, but there's a really good Middleton football team. And we just had some coaches from Middleton talking to us, and they're just really excited about it. But as far as Thunder Ridge is concerned, again, searching for that win. Now, at a season when you start off 0-5 and you come over and you're playing a team that outside state championship hopes, you just look to put it together and play a good football game. And you get some experience for your younger kids, and you let them go. And obviously the seniors want to go out with a bang and play as well as they can. But that being said, you got to look at this as an experience if you're Thunder Ridge. You come in, you're playing in a great environment. We just love the stadium here in Middleton. They do a great job. The town shows up. And you got to take it all in and grow from this if you're Thunder Ridge. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, they're going to have to play a perfect football game to win this game.
Yeah, and Thunder Ridge, we saw it on just looking at this in terms of how many numbers are in each program. Significantly less numbers for Thunder Ridge as opposed to Middleton. So Middleton on the other side, they enter tonight with a 2-2 record. Few things go their way, they could be 4-0. They have a 31-21 loss to Rocky, wins over Skyview and Nampa, and last week a 3-point loss to Meridian. That was 23-20 loss, so just few things go your way. You don't turn it over here. You pick up a fourth down there. They could be 4-0.
Yeah, it could be a different story. And if let's point first of all to the first loss, which is the first game of the season for Middleton, and they played Rocky really well, and Rocky was picked in the top 3 at the start of the season, and then you roll over and they lost by 10. They stuck with them up through the third quarter. The fourth quarter is when it kind of got a little separation and lost by 10. Then they turned around and they beat, you and I did the game, Nampa. They beat Nampa handily. And then they ended up, prior to that, then they won another game, but then they lost to Meridian. And I'm talking a little bit about that, and they were actually proud of that loss. I mean, it was a 3-point loss. They played them tight till the very end. And Middleton is starting to put together what looks like their core. I mean, they have really discovered who they are. They have good size up front on offense, and they're a very solid football team. And some of the coaching staff, again, like we were talking about, they have some creative ways of running defenses. They have ways of getting, their big horses on the field. What do you call it, 1,000-pound club when they put their big backs in the backfield. Yeah. And they just do things a little bit different here. They'll run the quarterback under center, and they'll play good football, and they want to stay 5A. They want to turn into one of those powers. They're very proud of this program. And like you said, Middleton could be 2. Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
Skull time here in Middleton.
They could be 2. They're 13 points away from being 4-0 and ranked number 1 or number 2 in the state. Yeah,
very good Middleton team that we're going to see here tonight. And you can see a little bit of the culture that they have going on here in Middleton as well. We talked about before we hit the air. It's one town, one team. You don't see it a lot at the 5A level. You do see it here in Middleton. So especially in the Boise area as well. You have Middleton, you have CUNA.
Eagle-ish.
Eagle, sure.
Ish.
Yeah. But, you get the picture. You see it over in East Idaho a little bit, obviously, with Madison and
Rigby, Shelley, a couple of those other schools, yeah.
So, but anyway, good picture here in Middleton. Fall has officially hit.
Absolutely stunning. I don't think you could ask for better football weather.
No, I think this is the first Friday night where it feels like fall.
It does. Yeah, and taking a look at both of these teams, and it's got to feel good. I mean, I remember, and hopefully everybody who's played football or ever done it, when this time of year arrives, this is when you should be in peak form. Mid-season, temperature's nice, the temperature's right, you're out there, you've practiced, you have everything. Theoretically, you have everything together, and you're ready to put your best foot forward. So I'm hoping for a good football game. I'm hoping Thunderbridge shows up and puts their best foot forward here. They've been able to score some points, and they've gotten beat by some pretty good teams. But they've also showed that they've been able to put some points on the board. They're going to have to score if they're going to stay close to this Middleton team who really relies heavily on the run and then play action and dropping some deep balls.
Yeah, for Thunder Ridge offensively, they scored 20 against Madison. You have 20 against Skyline, another 28 against Idaho Falls. So this offense has shown the capability to creep up towards that 30 range. So it's going to be Thunder Ridge that's going to be kicking things away to begin things here tonight. Just a touch under 70 degrees as we get it going here in Middleton. Burton Shaw is going to be kicking it away for the Titans.
Just kidding, he says.
Yeah. Or check that. That is going to be.
We don't have an 89.
No,
but
we don't.
Let's assume number 89 is your son and you're watching him. We hope he has a great kick here, folks.
So here goes kicker 89 for the opening kick. End over end kick is going to send it all the way back to the 2, where Middleton is going to bring it out here with Maxwell. And Maxwell has a seam down the sideline, pushed out of bounds near the 40. And so the Middleton offense will take the field from there for the first time here tonight, as they're led out by the senior quarterback, Cash Weeks.
Yeah, Cash Weeks, a big kid, big arm. He's been kind of waiting in the wings as they've progressed a couple of quarterbacks through this program, but his senior year arrives. Now, he has been a contributor in the past. It's not like he has not been playing, but he shifted to the quarterback position this year, and he's contributed heavily. I mean, obviously, all the offense runs through him. Snap goes to him, and then Pachi Franks in the backfield with him, and the Holman brothers, we'll see them in the backfield, but just a lot of beef in that backfield, and they rely heavily on it with a big offensive line.
So Weeks getting things organized here as a few late subs coming on for Thunder Ridge, and we're ready to go. This drive starting from the 40. Pistol set for Weeks to start. The Twins down to the near side of your screen as they go to Pachi Franks straight up the middle, first play of the game, and that's going to be exactly the way that Middleton wants to start things. Gain of 4 right up the middle.
Gain of 4, and that's just a power game, and they're going to test that all night. And Thunder Ridge looking to make some subs and bring it in. I mean, you know, Nampa, when we did the Nampa game, they had a 6-man front. I mean, they just went all in on stopping the run and dared Cash Weeks to beat him with his arm. And I think eventually we're going to get to that point. I mean, they're lining up in a 4-3 defense. So Weeks looks over the middle, has a man wide open. He catches it, loses his feet, stumbles down to the 20-yard line. And that's what happens when you can run the ball and the defense is just eyeballing those defenders or these running backs in the backfield, although unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, late flag coming in. It was Jordan Leonard, the big catch and run, first chunk play of the night, but it might be coming back.
Yeah, it was unsportsmanlike. He got up and jawed a little bit. I mean, you know, they're pumped up. It's homecoming, man. They got to be excited for this game. And so marching back 15 yards is still good enough for a first down, though.
It is going to wipe off about half of what Leonard had gained there. But if you're looking for some sort of good news, it's still just a 1st and 10 instead of a 1st and 25.
Sure, and Coach Bill Brock understands that. I mean, he shouldn't have jawed at it. And he's, you know, hats off to a lot of these coaches this year, and in general through the state of Idaho. They're doing a really good job of accepting, understanding that referees are human. And I have not seen too many coaches go after referees, and I think that that's a testament to trying to build a good football culture in the state of Idaho, and they're doing a pretty good job with it.
Colton Severa to the bottom of the screen as Twins out to the left. Man in motion, they give it back to Franks, and this one's not going anywhere. This one's straight up on the left side, and the second run for Franks goes for no gain.
Yeah, a sellout run blitz. I mean, they're bringing everybody in on that to stop the run. A linebacker, it was number 88 for Thunder Ridge, who just pinned his ears back. That's Trevor Vincent, the 5'9", 145-pound sophomore, pinned his ears back and said, we got to go make a tackle in the backfield. And so you'll see that. I think Thunder Ridge is going to sell out on the run. If I were Thunder Ridge, if I were the defense coordinator, that's exactly what I would be doing, selling out on the run.
So it brings up a 2nd and 10. 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. As Weeks moves back to the shotgun set, Franks will stand to his right here on 2nd down, and Weeks to throw. Plenty of time. Weeks has this pass deflected, but it's caught off the deflection. It was batted up in the air at the line of scrimmage, but still able to make the catch is Maxwell, and the junior picks up about 2 yards on the tip.
Yeah, that play just took a little too long to develop. Weeks was looking for some stuff to break open, but if you look at the cornerbacks, the defensive backs are just turned in their hips and they're breaking out, they're diving, they're releasing, they don't want anything deep, and so they're trying to keep everything in front of them. And those routes were all run right at the depth of the defenders, so it just took a while to defend, and then the defensive lineman got his hand up, and looks like he threw it right off his helmet.
3rd down and 8. 9:20 left to go here in the first quarter. First 3rd down of the night for either team, as Middleton's going to run a speed option on their opening possession, pitch out to the near side across the 30, short of the first down. And it's going to bring up a 4th down here for the Vikings.
Yeah, and this is go for it territory. And they're going to bring in the beef package, or I don't remember the term we used last time.
600-pound club.
The 600-pound club, absolutely. The 600-pound club, they're going to bring it in, and they feel very confident in gaining 3 yards with that backfield. But that being said, it almost feels like Middleton's kind of overlooking Thunder Ridge at this point. But Thunder Ridge showing a little pep. Sideline to sideline, they need to be really good. They can't get beat on the outside, have to funnel everything internally.
So here is our first look at the 600-pound club. Power I formation, and Thunder Ridge jumped up front, and it's going to be a first down. Connor Dixon, the defensive lineman is going to gift the Vikings the first down here.
Yeah, and they can't do that because they got to force them to earn those first downs. I mean, obviously that's with any team, but when your back's against the wall and you're the underdog, you've got to play almost perfect defense. And they stopped them on third down. They pursued to the near side of the field. So to give up something like that, and they know it. You know, he grabs his head. He's like, "Daggone it!" I mean, that's a few extra push-ups when he gets back to practice.
So 1st and 10 now for the Vikings. This ball is going to be spotted at the 23-yard line. Back to the shotgun set here for Weeks. And they go back to the ground here with Franks, and Franks trying to look for some room on the left hash. Picks up 10, another first down for Middleton.
Yeah, big room on that side. They just collapsed it down, and they went to the far side of the field side, and so single coverage on the outside, and that receiver dove, and he released deep, and there was nobody coming in. So Pashy Franks had to just break one tackle. You know, he's averaging almost 6 yards a carry this year. Yeah. I mean, 6 yards a carry. Hand it to him and say, hey, give me 2 downs and get us a first down all the way down the field practically.
Why do anything else at that point? 1st and 10 from the 16. Holman, the man in motion. He's going to get the jet sweep. Flag is back in the backfield as Holman pitched it out to Franks, and Franks is upended at the 4. This one might be coming back.
I think they had illegal motion on that, or I think they were lined up. I think that they didn't have enough men on the line, meaning they had an open tackle that was not covered on the far side. So, but it was very creative. I mean, they tried to run that option out of it.
And that is what it's going to be, an illegal formation. It's going to move Middleton back, so some early penalty yardage here for Middleton.
Again, nobody wants to shoot themselves in the foot, and Middleton specifically, if they're going to make a run here, and again, we talked about this with some of the coaches, is they feel very confident moving forward for the rest of their schedule. If they're going to make a run, they have to start executing. Yeah, so Coach came in from the sideline and he said, hey, listen, our motion, he was pointing out, so they're going to talk about it. Like I said, I think the tackle was not covered, but I didn't see the far man because a little bit distant from our vantage point.
Yeah, officials going to get together to talk about this one as they sort it out.
Yeah, so they're going to pick up the flag. Okay, so there must have been another receiver over there that I didn't see.
And if there's no penalty on the play, Franks had the ball all the way down to the 4. It's going to be close to another Middleton first down if they pick up the flag. So this is going to be a difference of about 20 yards in field position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now it's interesting. How do you score that? Because who gets the rushing yards?
Right.
You know, is it Holman or is it Pashy Franks? And so they split it where the pitch was made is how they technically should do it. But a lot of the times they'll just give it to the end runner, the guy who had the ball at the very end. So maybe Franks gets to pad his stats.
Holman does all the work.
That's
Franks
right.
Picks up a yard at the end, gets all the yardage.
Thanks, buddy. All state.
Yeah.
All because of you.
Right. So they're going to be just short of the first down. They're going to spot him down at the 5. Here comes the 600-pound club again. So this 600-pound club is made up of Cole Holman, Drew Holman, and Pachi Franks, all over 200, pushing 225 pounds, and they come straight downhill at you. Here it is, power I formation. And it's going to be a toss to Holman, who's looking for the edge, and Holman barrels his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Cole Holman from 5 yards out.
Oh, and you had to feel a little bit bad for the Thunder Ridge defenders as they came around the edge, and Pashy Franks was just dialing up somebody to hit along with the other Holman. And then if you throw Cash Weeks in there, I mean, they're up around 900-pound club, right? 660, and then you throw another 225 on that. So, you know, big backfield, and that's typically what Middleton will do to you is they push you, kind of beat you into oblivion. Now, they're even looking at going for 2 on this because 2.5 yards out, 3 yards out, and you're able to pick up yardage like that.
Yeah.
Why not, you know? I lied. They're going to kick it.
Caden Woodruff on for the extra point.
So Caden Woodruff on to kick the extra point. Snap, hold, and kick are all good, and Middleton has a 7-0 lead.
So good job, good drive. Cleaned up some of the penalties, and it's a perfect drive. And if you're Thunder Ridge, you got to say, well, hey, we got them to third down, and then we gave them the first down on the offsides. Yeah. But, hey, learning experience, take one on the chin, turn around offensively, and try to make the most of it. Again, experiential at this point. Do the best you can with what you have. And if you're Thunder Ridge, you got to play a perfect game from here on out. You got to play perfect.
So that drive went about 60 yards in just under 4 minutes for Middleton, picking up 1 third down along the way. And you saw a little bit of everything, which is kind of the strength of this Middleton offense and their ability to not only run the ball and run it with authority with that power I formation, but also be able to throw off of that as well.
Yeah, and hats off again to the coaching staff for willing to be creative and do some things that typically you're not seeing anymore, even in football in general. Everybody lines you up, spreads you out, and it's basically basketball on turf. And taking advantage of that in the way that teams prepare for other teams, Middleton will run it right down your throat. And they'll do it with their personnel, whoever they have, and what they have this year is pretty special.
Cody Robinson back deep to return this for Thunder Ridge. He takes it out from the 5. And Robinson falls forward to the 26. And now we'll see the Thunder Ridge offense for the first time tonight. So again, an offense that's, has had to keep up with, I guess, the lack of production from the defense, and then also things haven't quite gone their way so far.
Haven't clicked. They've had better years. I think this is year 5, if I'm not mistaken, or year 6 of Thunder Ridge football. They had a couple years in there that they did perform a little bit better. This year's been somewhat of a down year, but again, looking to change things up, and they run a little wing T option, wing T here.
Let's see this every day at the 5A level, but you're going to see it here tonight. Play action, and under pressure, throwing this way. He's got a man wide open, and it's caught. Going down the far sideline, it's Hudson Harker, and this is going to be a Thunder Ridge touchdown.
Well, we talked about playing a perfect game from here on out, and that was the perfect play call. Line everybody up, get everybody in the box, release one of your tight ends or wide receivers, tall wide receivers, throw it over the top, but they did exactly what they needed to do. And honestly, trickeration, creative play calling is what you're going to have to do against this very stout defense. Hats off to Thunder Ridge. They're right back in it.
That they are. Hudson Harker, 67 yards. And now on to kick the extra point, Nathan Olson for Thunder Ridge. And by the way, the quarterback tonight for Thunder Ridge, Ryder Portman, a freshman. And I would imagine that it could very well be his first varsity passing touchdown of the year.
Got to feel good. It's got to feel good. Now, Eastern Idaho, and I can say this because I'm from Eastern Idaho, Shelley, for those who are listening, Eastern Idaho plays good football, tough kids. And between the youth tackle leagues, everything coming up, sometimes you are called upon. You just don't have the numbers or the quantities of people. So you may get an opportunity early to play. And you look at the Rigby's and the Highlands, and even Shelley had a run there for a long time. Pocatello's having a good run this year. A lot of those kids have been playing together for a long time, but they're diverse in terms of their age group. They're playing young guys all the way through. You have to play the best player possible when you just don't have the number of kids or demographics to choose from, and it just shows right there. Pull up a freshman, drops a 68-yard bomb.
First play of the game.
First play of the first possession.
Out of a wing T formation. Here comes the heat. Just throw it up, and he had Harker wide open.
So I think a storyline we're going to have to pay attention to as we go along here is how many more of those plays do they have, right? How often and how creative can they be with some of these plays? Because if they have some more stuff in the bag, you're going to have to pull it out. And sure, one play touchdowns are going to be nice. Probably not going to happen the rest of the game, but if you do have them, pull them out.
So it is Portman's third passing touchdown of the year. Has played in 2 games so far this year. We'll get more into his stat line as Middleton brings this kick out with Maxwell across the 15, and he's going to be stuffed behind the 20-yard line. So now the Thunder Ridge special teams showing up, as that was Ryan Lewis rather on the return rather than Maxwell.
Yeah, and Thunder Ridge, that's a really good job on kickoff coverage. A little hesitation on Lewis on the return. trying to pick his hole, and the hole didn't develop, and he got swallowed up by that kick coverage team. And that's what you want. You take away the middle, and then you force everything to a sideline. Or you do the opposite. You funnel everything to the middle, and then you stop them in the middle, and they did them both. He went up to the wedge and didn't get anywhere.
So now the Middleton offense, which moved the ball down the field pretty effectively last time out, will come out for its second drive of the day. Maybe a little quicker than they originally thought, but here they are with their second drive.
So Thunder Ridge, 4-man front, though.
And Weeks is going to keep it on the left side, and he's crossed the 20 down to the 22 on the quarterback keeper.
Just keeping the ball. He has some big legs. If you watch those, and a couple of those guys bounced off of it, you got to wrap up or at least trip him. You can't just try to half-heartedly make an arm tackle on his legs. But 4 yards on your first carry is your starting the second drive of the game. It'll take that every time.
So this is going to be a 2nd down and 5, approaching the 7-minute mark here in the opening quarter. As they go back to the ground on 2nd down, Cole Holman up to the close near the 1st down marker, and he has just enough. 1st down for Middleton.
Cole Holman does a lot of the same things that Pashi Franks does. Cole Holman a little bit more of a linear runner. He'll put his head down and run some folks over, and Pashi Franks has one step here and there that he'll try and jump step and get around, but very similar backs when you have both of them in there. And they do that. They'll rotate them. They keep them fresh all game long, and boy, it's not good for any opposing defense.
So 4 receivers in the set, as Holman, the back standing to Weeks' right, man in motion going to the far side. Weeks will throw on 1st down. Weeks all kinds of time. Here comes a bomb down the far side. That pass is caught. Is he in bounds? No, he is out of bounds, says the linesman, and it's an incomplete pass.
Beautiful throw. I mean, he turned that thing over. You could see when he was releasing, and he had a man in mind the whole time. And he did a good job. If you're going to throw it and you're going to throw into coverage, throw it only where your guy can catch it or it's out of bounds. And he did that, but very effortless, just a flick of the wrist and the ball turns over. And you've got to spread this defense because they are packing the box. I mean, they run a 4-3, but those linebackers are standing in all the A, Bs, Cs, Ds, all the gaps in the world, preparing to stop the run.
So 2nd and 10, about halfway through this first quarter. As Weeks in the gun, they go back to the ground with Cole Holman. And Holman on the left side, no gain. Actually pushing Holman back is a host of Titan defenders. And the Thunder Ridge defense stuffing that one. And it's 3rd down and 10 now for the Vikings.
Probably territory they didn't think they were going to be in here. 3rd and 10. Hats off to Thunder Ridge. Boy, they're pulling it all out. Got to be sound, very sound on defense, wrapping up, making plays.
Setting the tone early with the big play action, 67-yard touchdown pass to Harker. And now the defense, if they can get a 3-and-out here, Thunder Ridge certainly the early momentum in this one. 3rd down and 10 as Middleton breaks the huddle. Twins right, twins left here on 3rd down. And up against the play clock, Middleton's going to have to call a timeout.
Yeah, probably a smart thing, too. I mean, I don't think that they can't pick this up. I mean, I think they have it in the repertoire. Some of the things you're looking for right in the middle of the season right now is discovering what you do have when it starts coming down to playoffs, right? So you start practicing a play or two here. Theoretically, again, I use that word a lot, but if you're looking at it, you want to say, hey, does this play work? We'll put it in the back. Hey, this is a 3rd and 10 play. I still think Middleton probably will win this game, but now's a good time at the early beginning stages to maybe practice some of those things that you're going to use further down the road.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, you look at, Portman, the quarterback here for Thunder Ridge. This now his 3rd varsity game where he has experience getting these stats from Max Prep. So, I mean, there's the new era right there.
Yes.
Freshman quarterback, we have one sample size that we have seen so far with that one throw. Small sample size, but hey, looks good so far.
Looks good. Turn the ball over. Boy, now they just dug themselves.
Yep.
A little bit more in the hole, and that's got to be frustrating. Frustrating for Coach Brock as he looks at his team saying, hey, guys, we got this, but just put it together.
You saw Wyatt Gray, the defender there for Thunder Ridge, throwing his hands up, indicating that there's the flag there. You can tell this defense fired up for Thunder Ridge.
Yeah, fired up. They brought it. I mean, they brought just the kids that are going to play. Not a lot of, nobody extra on the sidelines. We'll say that, right?
You're suiting up. You're probably playing.
You're playing. Hey, you got the walking boot on. You think you can play a little here, buddy? So.
Right. So 3rd and 15 now from the 23. And they're going to run the option again, and Weeks is going to toss this one dangerously to Maxwell. Maxwell able to corral it, and it's dropped at the 30. A dangerous play there from Weeks. It's going to be 4th down and 8 or 9, especially considering that you're probably punting here anyway. You definitely don't want to give it up there.
Yeah, very unnecessary. In fact, play calling wise, you probably just want to say, hey, dude, just hang on to the ball, right? You just run a quarterback sweep to the right, fake a throw. No, do not risk anything. So probably an unnecessary call. I'm sure they're going to talk to Weeks on the sideline. Now, this is one area that Middleton has had issues.
And this one's going to be returned by Harker. Again, the guy that already has a 67-yard touchdown pass, but he's going to return this punt. And Thunder Ridge sent 2 punt returners back. It was Harker and Robinson were the 2 punt returners. Harker was almost kind of like what a fullback, I guess, would be on a punt return. And it was a short kick, so Harker was the one that returned it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a net. I think that was a 13-yard punt at the end of the day after the return. So, and honestly, if I would say one weakness on this team, it has been special teams, and specifically on the punt team. They need to figure that out. So wing T formation handoff to the right side. They give it to number 11. That was Cody Robinson. Picks up 2 yards.
Yeah, and same formation there as Robinson takes the handoff, and you saw, again, Portman, again, the freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and the big thing with the wing T, right, it's confusion. Who has the ball? Who's running which way? A lot of misdirection. And that's how you get a team to bite and throw a 68-yard touchdown pass.
2nd and 8, still the wing T here for Thunder Ridge. And this is going to be a toss out to the right side. It's going to be Harker again, and he's dropped after a short gain. Pickup of 2. So 3rd down now and 6 or 7. We're under 4 minutes to play now in the opening quarter. You would imagine for Thunder Ridge, again, sitting here with an 0-5 record, a chance to seize the early momentum, you would think, especially with the wing T. You're going to see 2 back-to-back runs here on 3rd and what they hope won't be 4th down.
Yeah, Harker's 6'4" coming out of the backfield. Not a lot of 6'4" running backs at the high school level.
Waterman lost his footing coming out, but he's able to pitch it to Scoresby, and he's going to launch forward for a couple of yards. A lot happening there. Tanner Scoresby picking up what ended up being a reception. I don't think that's what they wanted to do, but picks up 2 yards. They still have 2 left on 4th down.
Yeah, I mean, 4th and 2, and you probably are pretty thrilled to be in that position. It would have been a sack of nearly, 10 yards on that play, and the quarterback, Ryder Portman, just threw it with his left hand, kind of a pitch shovel pass forward, and they were able to break 1 tackle. So, no, it looks like they're false start on that far side of the field.
Yeah, it's going to turn a 4th and 2 into a 4th and 5 now. And it's going to push the Titans back 5 yards, and wing T offense is something that my 5A high school back in Colorado, we ran that. And these 5-yard penalties,
killers.
Because they throw you off schedule. This offense is designed 3-5 yards at a time.
Yeah, it's a killer. You can't have that. Plus, you don't want an injury to one of your starters here. I mean, that's the last thing you need. So, long story short, it's tough position. When you're 4th and 7, and your offense is designed to pick up 3 to 4 yards a carry, unless you're throwing a 60-yard touchdown pass. But that'll work. But realistically, you got to do. But hey, you're going to face these, right? If you're a team, you got to put it together, and as a coach, you got to prep your players and your kids to be able to go out and convert on these types of things.
So pausing the action momentarily, Nathan Olson, the injured player for Thunder Ridge, now back up on his feet, looks to be okay. So 4th down, and they're going to call it 7 when we resume action.
Take that coin to the booster club.
2:34 left to go in the first quarter, tied at 7, Middleton and Thunder Ridge. Thunder Ridge, the long trip over from Idaho Falls over here to Middleton and the west part of the Treasure Valley.
Yeah, I think, is this the furthest west 5A team? I think this is.
I think it is.
Yeah. We're going from the furthest east to the furthest west.
4 receivers into the pattern for Portman. He's going to throw on 4th down. Has a man. Robinson caught it at the 25. First down, Thunder Ridge. And the Titans moved the chains on a big 4th down.
Boy, Portman looked apart right there, too. I mean, his throw was on point as he scrambled out, showed good poise, squared his shoulders, and then just threw that whip. You know, you want to get your shoulders through. And he did that. He put it on a rope to his receiver out there. Great presence. And then they do this, right? Yeah. Spread them out.
Shotgun set again. 4 receivers in the pattern. No wing T here on 1st and 10 from the 22. Portman to throw. Portman over the middle, looking for Robinson, incomplete. Leonard in coverage for the Vikings.
Yeah, good offenses need to be able to do this. Be a little diverse in what they're throwing and what they're doing, because you can't just line up and let the defense defend the same thing over and over again. But, you know, Thunder Ridge, not going to lie, a little shocked. They spread them out. Yeah. It really was. But that's good. You're going to have to keep doing that the rest of the game and keep this Middleton defense on their toes.
2nd down and 10. Ball at the 22. Again, shotgun set for Thunder Ridge. Trips left, single right. Here on 2nd down. 2:03 to go in the opening quarter. Portman launching this one to the end zone. Pass is incomplete. Boy, it looked like Harker had a step.
Yeah, he did have a step, and if Portland would have just put it a little bit more to a little in front of him, I think he could have got under it. That was a catchable ball. Now, he used his hands very well. Created a little separation on that one that didn't get called, but I think it's a good no call. I do, and because you got to let these guys play, and he was able to do that, threw it over the top, and so maybe Thunder Ridge was pulling the wool over our eyes, and they are a spread team. Who knows?
They showed that wing T formation to start, and you just kind of, you know, Thunder Ridge has been around for, 5-6 years. I used to do games in Houston, Idaho. This is the first time I've seen Thunder Ridge play in any sport. I've been in Idaho sports for a while, so Portman's going to throw out to the far side, incomplete, sailed it over the head of Harker again, and a 4th down and 10 coming up now. So point being, especially us Treasure Valley crews, we don't see Thunder Ridge a lot.
Yeah, nor do you hear, Rigby, sure, Highland, sure. You hear some of these others. Skyline will come in there. Hillcrest when they won the state championship a couple of years ago. But Thunder Ridge was just kind of an afterthought. And so it's been fun, and it's a big school, good population, a lot of kids, that growing area out in brain farting, Cabela's North. I tell you, I'm from that area, but I'm from the south side of Idaho Falls. This is the north side.
So Nathan Olson on for the field goal try. This is
and they take the lead.
And
they take
got
the
it.
lead.
And Thunder Ridge has the lead.
So good on him. Came out, drove the ball down, took the short field, and, threw him for a loop. Converted on a key 3rd down, and Portman rolled out, hit his man out there. And so I just in general, I'd say Middleton now having to defend some things that maybe they weren't ready for.
Yeah, I think Middleton, especially maybe, a little, I don't want to say shell shock quite a bit, but definitely back on their heels. At this point, it's Thunder Ridge. The 0-5 Titans, a 10-7 lead on Middleton. Olsen, by the way, that field goal, 38 yards. And that one from the 28, and the Titans have a 3-point lead.
3-point lead, clinging to it. 1:54 left in the first quarter. Got to be thrilled. Hey, if you're coach, hold on here. Is it Berger? Yeah, Coach Berger. I'm sorry, Coach Berger's family. If you're watching this, I apologize. If you're Coach Berger, you got to be thrilled, and you're doing some stuff that's keeping Middleton on their toes and off balance. This Middleton team's battle with some very, very good teams from the Treasure Valley, and Eastern Idaho is a bit of an unknown, and is showing tonight, not sure what to prep for. Thunder Ridge taking the lead.
So end over end kick. Going to be taken in from inside the 10. And across the 30, down to the 35. Ball popped out. It's a mad scramble for it at the 36. The Thunder Ridge sideline explodes. The Titans think they have it.
They do.
And it's going to be Thunder Ridge ball at the 36.
Wow, what a change of events here. Middleton getting punched in the mouth, and you got to figure, hey, they got to respond somehow. And that's got to be with some big defensive plays here, some kind of stop, because Thunder Ridge, you keep this momentum, sometimes it gets a little tough to overcome.
1st and 10 from the 37. 1:47 to play in the opening quarter. And Thunder Ridge wants a timeout. Coach Berger calling a timeout to talk about it.
Probably not a bad idea either. Hey, listen, we got a big turnover. We got a lot of momentum. Calm some nerves. Make sure you execute exactly what you're going to have to do, because, like I said, you still have to execute almost flawlessly. Picking up turnovers, picking up fumbles, that's all part of that execution. Doing a good job so far.
Yeah, I mean, so far, Thunder Ridge has checked almost every box that we've asked them to check in the pregame. You know, that's limit the mistakes, make the big plays when you have them. Right now, they're winning the turnover battle, and big chunk plays are, you know, Middleton has one, but half of it was taken back for a penalty.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of, you know, the bigger problem too is what kind of, you see Cash Weeks over here on the sideline, grabs Lewis, calming him down, saying, hey, buddy, we got a big game in front of us right now, you know. Let it go, take a breath, let's play some football.
Portman to throw out of the wing T. It's Harker again, caught at the 10. Touchdown, Thunder Ridge.
Wow, same play, fakes the handoff, play action. Releases. This time they had somebody covering, but he's 6'4", and Portman just had to throw it over the top. Easy pitch and catch for the touchdown. Wow, a little shell-shocked, aren't you?
A little bit. It's 16-7, Thunder Ridge.
Well, got to hang on to the ball, number one, if you're Middleton. Number two, you've got to convert third downs. Otherwise, you're going to get these play calls all night, and you got to be ready for them.
Olsen, point after, up and good. And the Titans have a 2-score lead on Middleton. Now, if you're Middleton, yeah, you're shell-shocked right now. But here's what you point to on the scoreboard. It's the number 1.
Yeah.
First quarter.
First quarter. Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen them put points on the board pretty quick. I mean, they can do that. I think the problem is that you run into is you've got to fire your team up. I mean, this is not a laughing matter at this point. Yeah, I get it. They're 0-5. Yeah, I get it. Ha-ha. You know, hey, we're bigger than they are. Ha-ha. But this isn't a laughing matter. You've got to get your kids focused right here, right now, and execute. The same way that Thunder Ridge is on point. They have nothing to lose. Yeah. When you have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Perfectly cliche. I get that. If I'm Middleton and I'm Coach Brock, I tell them the exact same thing. Hey, we're not smiling. We're not bumping up and down. We're loose, but we're executing.
One thing's for sure, and that's this game, as of right now, certainly not looking like what some had thought it might be. It's Thunder Ridge leading 10 by 10. End over end kick. Be taken by Maxwell from outside the 5. Maxwell trying to come towards the near side. Maxwell looking for a seam, slips out of a tackle across the 30 and dropped at the 34. And so now Middleton down 10 as the flag sits at the 39. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, very late flag, and I didn't see any extracurricular activity. The only thing I can think of, maybe a block in the back or something like that. And it was off the ball, it was away from the ball. Yeah, so they're gonna march him back. Yeah, it was right. Illegal block in the back. And again, you know, some of these errors are just, I hate to use the term, but struggle bus right now. A little bit of struggle for the Middleton Vikings as they're not able to take advantage of, you know, good kick returns, short kicks, short punts. You know, you got to punch them in, and at this point it looks like they're just kind of stuck in neutral.
1st and 10 for Middleton from the 24.
But if you're Thunder Ridge, boy, you got to be excited.
Yeah, oh,
you have a 17-7 lead in
yes.
the first quarter against a good Middleton football team.
They're going to try it with Franks on the right side, and back to basics here for Middleton. Gain of 6 to Franks on first down.
Yeah, I think a score here really quiets a lot of the jitters and the naysayers at this point. So being able to march down the field, about a minute left in the first quarter here, I think really changes the dynamics for Middleton. But they've got to get down there first.
Second down and 3, under a minute to play in the first quarter. Franks straight up the middle, and this time Franks not going anywhere. That's the third time now the Titans defense has stuffed 26 up the middle.
Yeah, and they're selling out. They're saying they are stopping the run. Everybody's up in the box. They have 8 men in the box here. And Coach Brock talking it over, how he's going to take advantage of this stout front and, very undersized in comparison, but showing a ton of heart. The Thunder Ridge defensive line here showing just a lot of grit.
Third down and short. Back to the ground for Middleton, and Weeks has the first down just straight ahead for Weeks. Power football there for the Vikings. That's what they do best, and it's a first down for the Vikings. 15 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Weeks lost a shoe on that one. Yeah, power football, and again, that's a lot what we talked about. So it's going to take us to the end of the quarter. Middleton down 17-7 to the Thunder Ridge Titans from Idaho Falls, coming over, making the trip. We'll be back after this from a word from our sponsors.
I am not good enough. I will never believe I'm ready.
College isn't for me, and I need to stop thinking my life can change. If only I could see things differently. My life can change, and I need to stop thinking college isn't for me.
I'm ready. I will never believe I am not good enough.
Make the memories of this game last a lifetime. By downloading the digital game file of this contest, you can have your own personal copy of this game forever. These make great gifts for the student athletes involved. Just click the Order Now button for more details.
So on first down to open things in the second quarter, Middleton's going to pick up 6 yards. This pass completed out to Maxwell, the junior receiver. Brings that one in, picks up 6 on first down. Offensively, hasn't really been much of a problem for Middleton. They've moved the ball pretty well through that first quarter. Problem is the big plays and the turnover has been the issue for the Vikings.
Yeah, and Middleton did not convert. They did give it up on a third down.
Franks on second down again, not a whole lot up the middle for Franks. He's been bottled up for the most part so far tonight. Third down and 2 coming up, and this is a big third down coming up, especially if they can force a critical fourth down. Can that Thunder Ridge defense?
Yeah, well, this is 2-down territory any way you look at it. I mean, especially when you have we're gonna go back and forth on this, but 600 pounds in the backfield.
Yeah, and this is going to be a first down as Weeks just pushes forward. The Philadelphia Eagles run that play all the time. And here comes a late flag. It was after the play, so I think the first down is going to stand either way. But you see the Eagles run that play all the time at the goal line. They just kind of stack it up, and more weight wins kind of idea there.
Yeah, the face mask is going to bump it up another 15 yards. But with that play, I mean, the key to that play is you just have to feel where your offensive line is and where the hole is. It's a bit of a zone blocking, and you just kind of do that. You know, they used to run that a lot. I don't remember if you're – I'm a little older than you, but Terrell Davis. Well, yeah, you're from Colorado guy.
I know
yeah,
Terrell Davis
yeah. So it's a bit of the zone blocking, and you just feel where the seam opens up. And Weeks was actually stumbling sideways, and Pachi Franks kind of guided him through off to that right side of the line, and he just fell forward, kept his feet for the first down.
First and 10 from the 34. Weeks all day to throw. Throws this one down the middle. It's caught by Leonard, and the Vikings are inside the 5.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. all those runs, all that bringing him up the middle. And Leonard runs free on the seam route up the middle, and he did a good job. You know, he probably made it a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. If he would have kept his feet, I think he could have just run under it.
So first and goal now from the 4.
And it's a little bit more on pace what we thought we would see from Middleton.
So here comes the 600-pound club, toss to Franks, trying to find the edge on the right side, and Franks is bottled up.
Good pursuit by that Thunder Ridge defense, and they cut through. You call it knifing through. One of the Holmans was the lead blocker. He didn't end up touching anybody because he thought they were going to get to the outside. That was an inside-out pursuit, and they cut him short of the goal line. What was that, to the 4-yard line? Good pursuit, and that was a lot of that was those linebackers trying to play quick and avoiding some of those blocks.
Second and goal from the 3. Power I formation again. Franks upended at the line of scrimmage again.
Yeah, submarine, and again, that was our boy. That was number 88. That was Trevor Vincent, 5'9", 145 pounds, took on 220. He went low and won. Gain of 2, and it brings up 3rd and short.
Third and goal now from the 2. You're looking, it's shorter than an extra point if you're starting to think about 3. Middleton obviously doesn't want to settle for 3 here. Back to the power I. Weeks straight ahead, quarterback power. Waiting for a signal. Weeks is clearly in the end zone. There it is, touchdown Middleton.
Yeah, and I mean, it was 2 downs regardless, but that's a big offensive line, and that's a big man trying to tackle up the middle. And Thunder Ridge has done a good job so far. I can see them eventually getting a little worn out with 600 and what are we going to call it, 200 or 800, almost 900. We'll call it 900-pound club because Weeks is in there too. So 900 pounds in the backfield coming at you. Extra points up and good. So that brings us a little closer, and I think Middleton maybe breathing a sigh of relief right here, 14-17. Thunder Ridge still on top.
Yeah, absolutely breathing a sigh of relief. That one is just a drive that they needed, you know, maybe less on the scoreboard, but more in terms of, okay, we can breathe a little bit now. Certainly Thunder Ridge won that first quarter, but on the Thunder Ridge side of it, you look up and you say, hey, we're leading by 3 on the road right now.
On the road in second quarter in Middleton. And again, we talked about outside state championship aspirations for this Middleton team. And if they can put it together, a couple of holes that we pointed out so far, a little bit of their punting game, some of their special teams, need to shore that up a little bit before playoffs come. And that's assuming they get one of the bids, which we think they're probably going to come from the Treasure Valley, SIC, I'm assuming. But, you know, we'll go from there. We'll see when the time comes. But a couple of these things, and Thunder Ridge showing some heart here. And like I said, you got to take this and move with it and grow with it. I mean, you have a freshman quarterback, just throw a couple dimes for a touch. Yeah. Heck, you didn't even need to be dimes. I mean, these guys were wide open, but a couple of touchdowns. You got to feel good about your future.
And it's an onside kick. Middleton, did they get it? It's at the 45.
I don't think they did.
Thunder Ridge came away with it.
Was that number 23, previously injured number 23? That was Nathan Olson. I don't think that, well, maybe it's Nathan Olson. They say he's a kicker, but I think he plays running back and everything else. So Nathan Olson got blown up, but he held on to the ball, so fantastic job by him.
So Thunder Ridge, I mean, that's how you know the Middleton coaching staff's a little worried.
A little worried.
That's how you know.
Or very confident, right?
That could be too. Yeah, and I mean, in my opinion, you don't call that unless you're a little bit worried. So 1st and 10 for Thunder Ridge. Robinson out of the wing tee smashes forward to midfield for a gain of 4.
Yeah, that's a little Middleton football right there, right? Punch him in the mouth, lean forward, pick up 4 yards. 2nd and 6, you'll take it all day.
8.5 to go in the second quarter. So Thunder Ridge 14-17 lead. I realized I gave Middleton a field goal instead of a touchdown, but we got it up on the scoreboard now as Thunder Ridge is going to run it on 2nd down. This one not going anywhere. no gain on the second down run for the Titans as Levi Jones on the carry.
Yeah, and if you are Thunder Ridge, you can't let up. You can't take your foot off the gas right now. You definitely have to keep pushing because you got to know you know Middleton's going to score more points. At this point, it's not, hey, we're keeping it away, we're going to play field position. You have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. So any creative plays, anything that you have in the bag, you pull it out right here.
3rd down and 6. Portman in the shotgun. Twins right, single left on 3rd down. Portman to throw. Here comes the pressure. Slings it out to the far side. It's caught. 1st down.
Yeah, and he was looking at his man the whole time. That's a big throw. That's a deep out. It was on the near side of the field, but he threw the ball before Harker even turned to catch it. That was a timing play, and he threw it brilliantly. He had man coverage on the outside, took advantage of it. That's a big 1st down.
So the Titans move the chains now to the Viking 39. Boy, I tell you, Portman's looked pretty good in this spread look. They do run that wing T look as well. He's looked good here in the spread. He's going to throw it on 1st down. Portman has a man down the far sideline. It's caught inside the 10 to the goal line. They're going to say he's just short.
That's the one I don't think I've ever seen. He was literally the 1-inch line. That was Harker again, and they see a matchup they like on that far side. A defensive back is significantly shorter at 6'4", but I'll tell you, they really like that matchup, and they've given Harker the ball. I think that's his 8th touch of the game.
2 touchdowns for Harker so far. He caught the opening play from scrimmage for Thunder Ridge, took it 67 yards to the end zone. Also has a 38-yard touchdown reception as well. Almost had his 3rd right there.
Unbelievable this first half for Harker.
1st and goal for Thunder Ridge. Straight ahead. This is Jones, and Jones can't get into the end zone. He's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal now. 7 minutes to go here in the second half. A lot of football to go, but it's the Titans leading by 3 here in Middleton.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden Cash Weeks, Pachi Franks, both Holmans are in on defense. Middleton not messing around here, saying, hey, listen, we got to get this. We got to get control back in this football game. You have a lot of two-way players, but those 3 are some of your biggest two-way players, your quarterback, your running back, and your fullback / tight end.
2nd and goal, pistol set. They're going to run the option. Robinson trying to find the corner, and he stepped out at the 6. He lost 3.
Good pursuit. That was inside-out pursuit. You saw the Holman brothers take care of that. Drew Holman, the sophomore, had good inside-out pursuit, but then it was a cornerback. That was Weston Mills, who came up, broke free from the receiver from the block and pushed him out. But that's at good speed, and we talked about with the coaches, sideline to sideline, these linebackers are some of the best in the state.
Shotgun set on 3rd and goal from the 8. Trips right, Portman to throw. Portman under pressure, and he just flicked it towards the line of scrimmage. And they're going to say that that's an incomplete pass as Portman just sort of softball tossed it up to the line of scrimmage. That could be an intentional grounding.
Yeah, there was nobody in the vicinity, and so I think that's what you have to look at. Now the question is, was he outside of the pocket? And that's kind of a loose term they use these days. So they're just going to give him the incomplete pass, and probably the right call. I mean, that's a 50-50 call on that. But again, he kind of shuffled it. I love that analogy. Softballed it forward.
Yeah.
But he was getting blown up. That was good pressure on the outside. Wyatt Strayfill, we don't know what position he plays. Looks like he plays everything, but he's a 6'3", 215-pound. We're going to call him defensive end. He usually stands up on that outside, kind of a speed rusher for this Middleton defense, but did a good job getting some pressure there.
So now for Thunder Ridge, it's a 4th and goal. The kicker, Nathan Olson, is 1 for 1 tonight. He's good from 38, so certainly within the range here.
Yeah, well, I mean, tough call here. I would take the points, right? I kicked the field goal. I'm already up, extend it to a 6-point lead if possible. And a lot of it depends on how much they feel, how confident they are in their kicker. But if they have a 13-yard gimme play. I say call it here.
They're going to go for it. 4th down and goal from the 8. The freshman Portman in the gun. Twins right, twins left. He'll throw. This one's got to get to the end zone. Portman fires it to the end zone. It's incomplete. And the Middleton defense holds midway through the second quarter.
Huge stop for them, and I think we talked about morale boosters, and I say the last touchdown was a big morale boost. This was bigger. You had them on the 1 foot line. I mean, 1 yard line for all intents and purposes. You brought everybody in. Weeks came in. Pachi Franks came in. You brought your whole starting everybody in, and you stuffed them. In fact, you drove them back. That is a morale booster and a morale breaker if you're on the Thunder Ridge side of things.
It's just a game of inches sometimes.
Oh, man.
I mean, Harker was literally a foot from the goal line.
And they could have called it a touchdown, too.
Straight up the middle. Holman, 1st down. And some more on 1st down for Middleton. Pick up a 14.
Holman was just looking for some contact there. He had one guy hanging onto his waist and knew another guy was coming. Looked at him, but that was just an easy dive up the middle. A little bit of a delayed handoff to let some of those blocks develop. That big offensive line feeling pretty confident right now, and we talked about maybe wearing down this little bit smaller defensive line for Thunder Ridge.
1st and 10 from the 24. Shotgun set for Weeks. Weeks back to Holman on 1st down and tripped up after a gain of 4.
Yeah, so that defensive line, just to kind of give you a little bit of perspective here. And again, this is from the roster. Number 33, that's Isaac Mann. He's 5'11", 170. He's a senior. They list him as a linebacker. Number 66.
Second down and 6.
I don't even, there you, nope, don't have one. So he plays football for Thunder Ridge, and he's a defensive lineman. He's number 66, and he's out there, folks. If that's your son, he's doing a pretty good job.
2nd and 6 for Middleton. Back to Cole Holman. They've called his number a lot on this drive, and this time he loses about a half yard. And another 3rd down coming up, 3rd and 6. And yeah, this is the second time we've seen Middleton this year. We had their game against Napa. They won 31-7. They controlled the game throughout. When they had 3rd down, it was 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. No more than that on 3rd down. Tonight, it's been 3rd and 6, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, a little different story. I'll be sure. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit surprised I haven't been able to run better on Thunder Ridge.
Weeks to throw on 3rd down. One-on-one coverage down the far side, incomplete. As he was looking for Svedra, and it's incomplete. Brings up a 4th down.
Yeah, he needed that one back. He had Leonard in the flat on the near side, wide open. Unfortunately, in high school, and this isn't Weeks' fault at all. You simplify the game, right? You say, hey, read this half of the field. You have 2 receivers. Here's your primary receiver, and here's your secondary receiver. And he just stuck to that side of the field. If he would have surveyed the field a little more, he would have seen on the near side there was a wide open Leonard.
So Middleton punting once again. Weeks this time is going to get a good bounce. It's going to be a really good bounce all the way down to the 19. And Thunder Ridge will take over with a 3-point lead and 4:08 to go here in the second quarter.
Say what you want. They're still winning.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still winning. They came in, and this is no Vegas sports book, but I would have had them, maybe 14. I would have given Middleton by 14, and they're shoving it in my face right now. But that being said, I had no clue what I was going to get from Thunder Ridge.
Yeah.
I just saw stats, and I saw 0-5, and I saw who they lost to, and I thought, okay. And then I've seen this Middleton team, and that goes to show you, sometimes the state, we call it 3 states, right? Eastern Idaho, North Idaho, and then Treasure Valley. I guess there's Southern Idaho. You just don't know what you're going to get.
It's going to be a toss play on 1st down, and this is going to be a pickup of just a couple. As Hudson Harker, once again, 2 touchdowns for Harker tonight already through the air, this time on the ground. Picks up 2.
Yeah, and Harker lines up as a running back at 6'4", 6'5", lines up as a receiver, slipped out as a tight end. You got to keep your eyes on this kid. And they threw it over the top, and that's what makes it tough to defend. If he's good at the point of the height of the ball and he's able to make those receptions, it could be dangerous.
2nd and 8, 3.5 to go before halftime.
Yeah, Harker is a senior, so.
Portman play action under duress, has to throw this one up, deflected and intercepted. And this one is going to be taken all the way back for 6. Touchdown, Middleton.
Pick 6. And unfortunately, Portman just lobbed it up there. The moonshot and allowed the defender to get underneath, and that was number 19. That was Jake Perez. Jake Perez showed some wheels too. Boy, he got downfield real quick as soon as he had the ball. And it was a beautiful pick too. He tipped it with one hand, tipped it to himself, kept running, did the rest on his own. Well, do we say order's been restored-ish?
It's getting there, at least from Middleton's perspective. Turnovers 1 apiece. The pick 6 there for Thunder Ridge is going to give the Vikings the lead, and this extra point is no good. And so the lead stays at 3.
So you're not going to like this, but maybe you'll get the reference. That was an Ace Ventura laces out, Dan.
Yeah.
He literally, Weeks had the ball. He didn't have enough time to spin the laces, and they kicked it right on the laces and gave that ugly knuckleball underneath the goalpost. So 2017, field goal separating us right here, and heck of a football game. Thunder Ridge showing up. I think maybe putting some doubts to bed here, and in general, I would say, you know, Middleton kind of having to do a little bit of a gut check here and put it together. And if you're Coach Brock, again, this isn't, you know, this is no walk in the park.
So 3:13 left before halftime. And Thunder Ridge now, at just a few minutes ago in terms of game time, had a 10-point lead. Now they trail by 3.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough pill to swallow.
But I think that being said, I think this drive, this next drive for Thunder Ridge will determine what this game will be.
Fate of the game, yeah, you may be right. Coach Berger really got to put it together here. Get your kids on board. Get your players ready to play some football.
Here comes Robinson. Straight between the hash marks, still on his feet, past the 30, down to the 32.
That was a great return. I mean,
Yeah.
I watched that thing develop, and they ran the middle wedge on that, and they brought everybody to the middle, and he got up behind him and just kind of put a hand on the back and push forward. I mean, that's a great kick return for all intents and purposes. A lot of times something will break loose, and there'll be a lane down the middle, and that's where you can break through. But it was a good return.
So now the Titan offense will start at the 32, fresh off the pick 6. Freshman Portman was under pressure, threw it up, and Perez took it back to the end zone. They're going to run it on first down. Liam Lynch, the sophomore running back, picks up 4 to 5 on that first down. Under 3 minutes to go before we hit the halftime break. We'll have our Next Steps Idaho halftime report. A lot to unpack here tonight at halftime.
Yeah, and they ran the 3-man front that last time, that last down. And interestingly enough, Middleton has a speed mentality on defense. So, yeah, they may have some 220s in there, but their defensive line isn't overly big. They're not going to muscle you around too much. What they like to do is a lot of technique, gaps. And like I said, Pashi Franks and Holm are both lined up as defensive ends now, looking to run, get after the quarterback.
The give to Robinson, right side, no gain. This one maybe a half yard. As we approach the 2-minute mark, critical third down coming up here for Thunder Ridge.
Yeah, and Weeks comes in also. So, again, they're not messing around. They're going all in on defense here. Looks like Pachi Franks. Weeks came in for Franks. But they were at a 3-man line, and now they put a 4th man there. Looks like Weeks is going to be playing defensive end for him. I'll tell you, you put your best athletes on the field.
Yeah.
You got to do it to win the ball game.
We talked about the speed on the outside. It was sort of the interception was forced by the pressure, which came out from that right side. Here we go with 3rd and 5. Under 2 minutes to play. Portman in the pistol set, receiver to each side. Portman will throw. Here comes the pressure. He's going to throw this one out to the right side. Going up and getting it is Harker, and it's another first down for Thunder Ridge.
Boy, we talked about that. Harker getting the ball at the height of of his jump there over the top. I mean, nothing they could do about it. That's 6'4", 6'5" basketball player, and you had a 5'9" cornerback on him, maybe a 5'10" kid. And we talked about him being dangerous. I mean, he's the go-to guy, and you can see Portman as he drops back. That's his initial read, and that's his throw.
1st and 10 now from the 50. Now the clock's starting to become a little bit of a factor. We're approaching the minute mark. Remember, a freshman quarterback running things here for the Titans. He'll throw on 1st down. Has some time. Portman is duressed and goes down at the 40.
Showed some guts, got a stiff arm, got away from the first man. And then Holman, or was it Weeks, came in on the backside and cleaned up.
Clock down to 44 seconds before we finally get a timeout from the Thunder Ridge sideline. So 43 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, and Portman, it was good coverage downfield. He was under pressure. There really wasn't anybody open. These guys, they'll run 2 deep guys. I mean, if you're watching, Middleton typically will run a 1 high, and then they let him man up across. Weeks did come in and clean that up for the sack. But they'll run a 1 high man, and then man coverage across the top. But in that situation, they ran 2 man deep, and then there were just a ton of people. You know, there was nobody open. It was a pressure sack, and Portman was trying to get away from it, and that's just a young quarterback not knowing what to do or having the time to do anything, you know, as that play developed. And so Weeks came in, and we talked about it. Middleton, they go with that speed and athletic defense, trying to get after you in different ways. It's a boom or bust. We've seen a couple touchdowns, couple bombs. But at the same time, if they get it dialed in, they can be very dangerous. They can get you for a loss. I mean, what is it? Friggin' 2nd and 21 here? Yeah.
Yep. 43 seconds left to go in the first half. Portman trips to his right, single receiver left, and he'll throw. Here comes the pressure again, and Weeks was the first there. He'll get credit for half of it. The other half is going to go to Streifel, and it's another sack.
Yeah, they switched places. Streifel caused the pressure, and Weeks cleaned up last one. And then this one, Weeks came in, and then Streifel cleaned up. That's a tough position to be in. And you can just see maybe they dialed it in a little bit more, those tackles. Tough to fend off. Streifel he's a dedicated defensive guy. I mean, he plays defense. He doesn't play – he may have a position on offense in practice, but he is their edge rusher. And he's brought in to bring that pressure. And then you bring Weeks, who we know is a good athlete, coming off the edge there, causing that pressure.
And now Middleton is taking timeout with 33 seconds. So Middleton maybe smelling some blood in the water, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's 3rd and 27. So maybe you're hoping for another turnover.
Yeah, possibly. Do they have 1 timeout left?
I think they might have 2.
Might have 2. I'm not sure. The scoreboard, they need the new scoreboards. Come on. Let's go, Middleton. 3-man rush.
3rd down and 28. And they're going to run a jet sweep with Robinson, who cuts it straight up the hash marks, and he's dropped at the 35. Clock down to 25 seconds. And, yeah, we do have another timeout by Middleton. So they had at least 1.
Yeah.
So 26 seconds to go in the half. So.
Yeah, and that's clock control. I mean, they feel like they can do something here. Obviously, Middleton has some deep play threat, and we know Cash Weeks has a good arm. So you've got to get the ball down. Now, the clock does stop on the 1st down inside of 2 minutes, and looking to push the ball downfield. And I think, you know, depending on what they do for this return, if it's me, I set up a big return, right? You're going to run a picket fence to the right or to the left, return right or return left, and you got to execute. And if you do that and get in decent field position, you may have 1 or 2 shots down the field. Or go for the block, I mean, at this point.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It seems like every year in high school football, I see at least 1 punt block. I haven't seen one yet.
I don't think I've seen one either.
I see about 1 a year.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one. I've seen a lot of games, but I have not seen that one.
So Olsen, the punter here for Thunder Ridge, 26 seconds to go. Here comes the Middleton pressure. They got it. And Middleton is going to have the ball at the 35.
And that's why you do it. That's why you call the timeout. Man, talk about prophetic. You're prophetic. You know that?
Called that one, huh?
You did. Wow. Got the pressure up the middle, too. It was nothing over the edge. They run that three-man kind of protector crew. Weren't able to hold it. The other thing, too, is he took a little longer to punt that one. It looked like he didn't get his steps right, and he was trying to get it out. Olsen on the punt on that.
So 20 seconds to go here in the first half. Middleton 1st and 10 following the punt block from the Thunder Ridge 35. Weeks, time to throw. Now he's going to run across the 30, looking for the sideline to the 25 and gets out of bounds. 11 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah,
but
flag
a
on
flag
the
sits at the 26.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to be a hold.
Good for 9 yards on the play. There is a flag.
Boy, Cash Weeks was, they're John at Leonard there. I think he's probably the instigator of that. Tell him to get off the field, dude, get your head checked. But, Weeks ran a long ways to pick up 10 yards.
Yeah,
that was a long ways.
And a lot of time came off the clock as well. This is against Middleton.
That's going to be a personal foul. Helmet-to-helmet hit.
And if it's what the PA guy just said, it's a helmet-to-helmet 15-yard penalty, which pushes you out of any sort of hope for a field goal. You would think at this point it's going to push it back to the 40.
Well, I mean, Weeks has the arm. I think he can get it downfield. I don't think that's a problem. I think you're more concerned if you give him enough time, protection time to get the ball down there and at least let the play develop. Your receivers have to get to the end zone is what I'm trying to say, and we'll see if he gets enough time to do that. I know Pachi Franks is a good pass block.
Weeks over the middle, pass is knocked down, almost intercepted.
That was an interesting.
Denton Skinner in coverage.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. I wasn't sure what he was doing. It looked like he was throwing it right to the defender. He did have a man break in front of it, and he's lucky because it was almost picked. But it looked like a miscommunication.
So 5 seconds to go in the half. This one probably got to go to the end zone.
Yeah, like I said, I think he has enough arm to get it there. I think he can throw a ball 55 yards. Big kid, 6'3", 225 pounds.
2nd and 15, but this likely will be the last play of the half. Weeks is going to roll to the near side, and he's going to wind up and let this one go to the end zone. Got a few.
Oh, that's a PI in the end zone.
That's exactly what it is, and Middleton is going to get a break.
They'll get one untimed down, and I want to say it's from the 1 yard line? Or do they go from the 3 yard line? Or are they going to bring it all the way back and give him another play? Because, I mean, maybe I'm thinking NFL at this
I
point.
think you're thinking NFL rules.
Come on.
I think they're going to give him
15 yards and say, go at it again.
Yeah. Honestly.
You're smart. Look, Thunder Ridge had to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a touchdown grab, and so I don't blame him. Best play he could have made.
And you're going to make him basically throw another jump ball to the end zone, essentially, is what this is going to be. So one untimed down before we hit the Next Steps Idaho halftime report.
Yeah. And I like that when they rolled him to the near side and they gave him a little bit of room and they kind of shortened his need to throw it. He threw it to one guy in the route, and I like that. Pachi Franks had a good block up the middle, too.
So now from the 25, Weeks, some problems with the snap. Under pressure, he's going to throw it up to the end zone, and it is deflected.
And he's caught it. I can't believe it. Holy cow, Cash Weeks, you're praying. You must be doing something right, buddy. He was looking away, and the ball hit him in the hands, hit the ground. He picked it up, and then he had pressure, rolled away from it, threw a duck on the run, but a gun showed the big arm. Huge grab. Severa, and here's the crazy thing. Severa came to him after one of the plays, 2 plays ago, and he looked at the coach and he goes, pointed to himself and said, me, I've got this. Turns out he did.
So Middleton, all of the momentum as we head to half. The extra point was up and good, but there is a flag. And if there's one play that could really summarize what we've seen in the first half, it was that.
Yeah, a bit wild. I'll tell you, that was wild. And for
Personal foul, it's a shot clock.
I think they called out Pachi Franks, which is tough because you're low on that one, and they're coming around, and if you're not low, you're going to get blown off, and so you're going to have to redo that extra point.
Colton Severa, the deflection catch, Hail Mary, answer prayer, whatever you want to call it at the end of the half for Middleton. The Vikings will take at least a 9-point lead to the half. And look at this. They're going to throw it up to the end zone again.
I mean, why not? So there he is, wide open.
Wide open in the end zone, and the longest two-point conversion you may ever see was just caught, and Middleton will take an 11-point lead to the break. It was Blake Bishop with no one around him.
Yeah, a little swagger in back in Middleton right now for this homecoming. See some of these Middleton Vikings talking a little trash now. Put some points on the board. Maybe a little order has been restored. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to hand it to Thunder Ridge. They have come out and they have battled a very good Middleton team, you know, halfway through this football game. Showed a lot of heart. And, you know, if you're Coach Berger, you got to say, guys, we've done a good job, but we got to go out and we got to do better. So hats off to Thunder Ridge. I mean, they play a really good half of football. A couple mistakes, and they wouldn't be there.
So your halftime score, 28-17. A wild one here from Middleton. The Vikings lead by 11.
Make the memories of this game last a lifetime. By downloading the digital game file of this contest, you can have your own personal copy of this game forever. These make great gifts for the student athletes involved. Just click the Order Now button for more details.
Dear Detour, you asked us to measure up. So yeah, we did. When life slings you mud, sling it right back. Stay strong. Toyota trucks.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Yeah, I know a little something about myths. Like the myth that speeding isn't dangerous. Oh, and that myth you can tailgate at a safe distance. Or that you could safely weave in and out of traffic. Don't be fooled by myths. You'll get yourself into a hairy situation. Stay focused on the road. Be a legend like me. Have you heard the one about Charlie over at Pay Lake?
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Welcome to What If, Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you, and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Our army of IdahoSports.com action photographers are covering games all over the state. And now we've revamped our green. The Treasure Valley Prepcast features the biggest stories happening in your area. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click Prepcasts in the menu to get caught up on what you've been missing, or check out each week's episode on the IdahoSports.com YouTube channel, Facebook page, or wherever you download podcasts.
Dear road rivals, you may have four wheels and a similar build, but our resemblance ends right there. Later, Toyota.
Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome to What If Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you, and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
And welcome into the Next Steps Idaho halftime report. If you're thinking about what's next for your career or education, Next Steps Idaho can help bring you closer to the life you want to lead. Ryan Luke and Lucas Gephardt for IdahoSports.com bringing you coverage of this one from Middleton. The sun has set to our backs. The lights are on here on a Friday night from Middleton. And we probably saw a season's worth of football in one half of football. A wild one. Our score right now, 28-17. Middleton, who at one point trailed by 10 to 0-5 Thunder Ridge. But here they are with an 11-point lead at the half.
Yeah, 11-point lead. And finish off with the bang, too. The longest, as you said, the longest two-point conversion you're going to see to push that lead up to 11. But we talked a little bit before we went in to halftime about how hats off to Thunder Ridge, an 0-5 football team coming over, making the essentially 5-hour drive to get over here. You know, that's what happens in the West. You play these big states, you're playing all over, and you have to travel quite a bit. I mean, go to North Idaho, it's 8 hours, you know. So these guys, Thunder Ridge Titans have done a good job coming in and minimizing the game, right? Doing exactly what they need to do, taking advantage of some of their possessions. And we talked about a couple of the kids that stood out to me. Now, Ryder Portman, the quarterback, the freshman, last year he was playing junior high football. This year he's playing in the biggest stage of high school football in the state of Idaho, and he's doing it pretty well, and he's doing a good job, but he's playing pretty well. Through a couple bombs, 2 touchdown passes, did have the rough pick 6, so that kind of negated one of those, but he stood up and he's had a lot of poise and he shows a lot of potential. And his main target has been Hudson Harker, and he's touched the ball all over the place. They list him at 6'4", and he showed it. I mean, there was the 3rd and 10, and he went and they threw the deep out, and he just went over the top and grabbed it for the first down. So there are some weapons on here. I think what we're seeing, though, is a little bit of the reality of the size and the physicality starting to take place as Middleton put up 28 points in the first half after a very, very sleepy first quarter.
Yeah, in that second quarter, really, for Middleton, there's 2 plays that I'm going to point to that were really kind of tone setters of Middleton going, hey, we're on paper the better team tonight. It's that pump block and the pick 6.
Pump block, absolutely, and making big plays. And so if you are a state champion, contender, if you have that in your sights, you have to be able to come up with some big plays. And you called it before. I don't think I've seen a block punt, you said, and what turns out next play, block punt. But those are the types of plays that you have to have and execute. And the way that you get those plays is if you are a good team and you have key players making critical plays across the board. You have your Cash Weeks coming in on defense and picking up a couple of sacks. You have your Pachi Franks sticking somebody on the outside. And that's what a good football team will do, and they'll generate some of those turnovers. And we saw that, again, with the block punt and then the pick 6. And that's not just happenstance. That just didn't happen. Every once in a while that will happen. But Thunder Ridge had been executing. They had been executing at a very good level. And, I think the better football team is now maybe starting to lean in and take over this game. But Thunder Ridge is pulling out all the stops to not let that happen.
Yeah, we'll go over the scoring summary while we have a chance here at halftime. Middleton got it started with a Cole Holman 5-yard touchdown run. That was the first drive of the game. It went about 4 minutes, just under that, 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Cole Holman finished it off with a 5-yard touchdown run. And then first play from scrimmage. How about this for a tone setter for Thunder Ridge to get things going? Hudson Harker, first play from scrimmage. They go play action with Ryder Portman, the freshman quarterback, and find Harker wide open for a 67-yard touchdown reception. That was just 16 seconds after the Middleton touchdown. So 2 quick ones out of the gate there. And then Thunder Ridge adding a 38-yard field goal from Olson. Made it 10-7, and that was when we both started going, okay, here Thunder Ridge came to play today. And then Thunder Ridge got the ball back and hit Harker again, this time for 38 yards. And that was Thunder Ridge's largest lead of the first half, first quarter. Yeah, but the problem there is they got the lead almost too early, it felt like. So Middleton struck back Cash Week's 2-yard touchdown run, capping off a long drive there for the Vikings. And then what would appear to be the big momentum shift in a Jake Perez pick six made it 20-14 after the missed extra point. And then to close the half, Middleton draws a pass interference down in the near corner of the end zone. And then Colton Svedra going up and getting a Hail Mary pass off a deflection. And then, like we said, the longest two-point conversion you'll probably ever see caught by Blake Bishop. That's how the scenic route to 28-14.
I like that. Yeah, and what we didn't talk about on that last play to Severa was the fact that Cash Weeks had his head turned when the ball was snapped, bounced off of his knees, and he had to pick it up and roll to his right, throw on the run for that completion for the touchdown. So, again, you're seeing a lot of the individual ability and athleticism by this Middleton team. And, we point to the big backfield, and that hasn't even been the biggest gangbuster for them. I mean, they rip off some 5-10-yard runs here and there, but they haven't done it consistently. What they have done, though, is caught some big plays. I think we saw Leonard down the middle. He caught a pass, a couple chunk plays here and there, but they haven't even played really Middleton football. I mean, Middleton football means I'm going to gash you for 10 here, I'm going to get you 12 there, I'm going to play action you, and then I'm going to hit you deep. Or I'm going to Pachi Franks is going to bust a couple tackles and take it to the house. And they haven't even been able to do that yet. They're still up 28-17 off of, again, some big critical plays like the block punt and then the pick six. So, if you're Middleton, it's like, hey, great, we're up, but we still haven't even played our game, and credit this Thunder Ridge Titan defense and just coaching in general. They've done a good job of disrupting, probably I'm going to call it the flow of this Middleton offense. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of frustration not being able to do exactly what they want to do, but that said, they're still up, and the swagger looks like it's coming back a little bit. Second half should be interesting. We'll see how Thunder Ridge takes the field.
Yeah, and, for Thunder Ridge, I think there's one of two ways this team could come out. They can come out like they did in the first half, throw a couple punches and say, hey, we're going to hang with you tonight. Or we could see Middleton just take over the game.
Yeah, and then the team drops to 0-6 and says, hey, we give it a, the yeoman's effort in the first half, and, hey, we had a lead on these guys and feel good about that. But you can't stop being aggressive. And, don't turtle up. Don't go in your shell and just say, hey, that was it. Good job. Good job, guys. Hey, we had that long touchdown. Doesn't that look good on film? I think you be aggressive. You play the game to win. My coach, look, we weren't great my senior year. I'm not going to lie. We missed the playoffs. But we always fought for the second half. Hey, can we win this half? Can we win this quarter? And those are some of the short-term goals that you probably put on a team that's 0-5 is you point back to the halves and the quarters that you won and how you do that. So play for that moment, right? Play for that quarter and play for that half. And right now, Thunder Ridge needs to play for this half.
Yeah, I totally agree there. And while we have a chance here, we'll talk about some other games going on around the state. As you can check out all of the games going on all across the state of Idaho on the Friday Night Flash up there on IdahoSports.com. We're going to pull it up ourselves.
Possibly.
As we hit the refresh button.
Here we go. Well, so far what we had 14-14 in the second quarter heading into halftime over in eastern Idaho and Pocatello where Meridian's tied up with Highland. And that's a clash of the Titans. Well, pun and no pun intended at the same time. But that's a clash of the Titans. I mean, Meridian was picked in the top 3 before the season started. Highland was on the outside looking into the top 5, and now you're looking at an undefeated Highland, sitting there with an eagle and also, let's call it what it is, Boise, who I think's legit. I saw the game last night.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they made Mountain View look pedestrian, I think is a good word. And we're still refreshing, so apologies. But 14-14, and we'll jump to another app to see if we can get some more scores. But that's a huge matchup in eastern Idaho.
Yeah, and while we have a chance to, let's go ahead and talk about Boise High. I mean, beating Mountain View at Donna Larson Park last night, they're undefeated. And
it's the way they're doing it.
Too,
yeah,
right.
It was 35-21. They beat them, and they didn't just beat them, but they controlled the game. It wasn't just a fluke here and there. And hear this, folks, if you're out there listening to halftime, one of the best players in the state that you haven't heard of, who may go down as the best player in the state. Cooper Smith, the senior from Boise High, and I'm gonna brag here, humble brag a little bit, Lucas. He lives four doors down from us. He's given some hand-me-downs to some of my kids, but so, take that to the house. But I mean, he's incredible in the way they do it. And we talked about this before. We were talking to some of the Middleton coaching staff. Boise's doing it with athleticism. Yeah. They're not the biggest team out there, but they have 6'4" and 6'5" receivers on the outside. They have Cooper Smith, who runs a sub-11 100, which is really fast, folks. I mean, this kid's a game breaker, has a great feel for it, and the quarterback's just distributing the ball. Plus, they had a 70-yard touchdown run to ice Mountain View last night. I think they're legit. I really do. Yeah. I mean, they have the numbers turning out as well.
I think you're sitting at this point, and we're starting to get into late September now. You're undefeated. You're legit at this point.
Yeah.
In my mind. So let's go around the state here. We'll stick in the 5A. Capital a 16-0 lead over Timberline over at Donna Larson Park. Highland and Meridian, a game we touched on there. That game tied at 14 over in Pocatello, approaching halftime if they aren't there just yet. Lake City and Moscow taking place up north, up in the Coeur d'Alene area. The battle between a 5 and a 4A there. Obviously the game here tonight, and Nampa and Eagle also playing tonight. That game over in Nampa. Owyhee and Bora tied at the half at 7. Post Falls takes on Lakeland, another 5A, 4A matchup up north. Madison a 14-9 lead over Preston. That game in the third quarter. And sticking in Eastern Idaho, 21-3, Rigby leading Blackfoot. That game at the half as well. And Lewiston taking on Sandpoint. And the third 4A, 5A matchup, I guess, up north. That game at Sandpoint tonight.
Yeah, a lot of those happen too, right? Because you don't have enough of just one A's.
That or you're going to play a team from Washington or something.
Which they do a ton of those too, but yeah, absolutely. And Sandpoint's actually pretty solid this year. Capital went up and beat Lewiston, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Sandpoint coming out on top on that one.
So there's your look from around the state.
That was 5A. Let's go 4A. Let's see what we have there. I'm going to have a lot of scores reported.
So what we have right now, no score from Bishop Kelly and Valley View. Bishop Kelly looking every bit of the part this year. Shelley leading Bonneville 7-0. That game at the half. Minico over Burley 28-13. That game in the second quarter. Ridgeview plays Caldwell tonight over in Caldwell. In Twin, we have Canyon Ridge, a 2-point lead over Jerome at the half. That game 14-12. Over in Emmett's, Twin Falls paying a visit to Emmett tonight. We don't have a score from that one just yet. In Idaho Falls, 28-7. Skyline leading Idaho Falls. That's a rivalry.
That's a rivalry, absolutely.
And so Skyline winning that one right now by 21. Mountain Home plays Kimberly tonight. No score from that one. No score from Moscow and Lake City or Post Falls and Lakeland just yet. And then Pocatello a 14-6 lead over Hillcrest. That game in the second quarter. So there you go.
There you go.
Four scores.
Yeah, so speaking of Bishop Kelly, they're interesting. I mean, they, new coach, new staff, same old, Bishop Kelly's going there. The one difference is, and I know a couple of the parents, with kids on the team, they're saying this year is that they're taking advantage of all grade levels. So historically, Bishop Kelly had been a very junior and senior heavy team. And this year they have freshmen contributing, they have sophomores, and they're ready to make a run this year. It's funny because talking to the parents, they say, hey, listen, we're not worried too. I mean, look, you got to go out and win every game that's in front of you here. They really haven't been challenged. You beat a couple 5A schools, but, that doesn't really matter. My personal opinion, I think Bishop Kelly could probably win the 5A state championship this year. 5A, good. Yeah, I think they're that good. Now, they are going to have to get through Skyline. Skyline's always trouble for them. Hillcrest has been trouble for them. There's always a team. Pocatello is going to be tough. So, there's always a team that's going to come out of Eastern Idaho to challenge them a little bit. So I would say keep your eye on that. But personally, I mean, Bishop Kelly's looking the part.
Well, thanks for watching or listening, I guess, to the Next Steps Idaho halftime show. We're ready to kick off things here in the third quarter. If you're thinking about what's next for your career or education, Next Steps Idaho can help you closer to the life you want to lead.
Number 11, Cody Robinson, deep.
All right, Robinson deep to receive. Thunder Ridge going to get the ball first as we begin the third quarter. Robinson up to the 10. from between the hash marks and the numbers. Robinson, a lane up to the 30, down to the 34. I think there's one facet of the game outside of the punt block. I think Thunder Ridge has been pretty good on special teams.
Very good. I've been very impressed with them. They hit the field goal, and, they just do a return in the middle and let them pick their way, and they have good blocking, so very well executed. I'll take starting field position to the 34-yard line all day if I'm on offense.
So it's a 1st and 10 here for Thunder Ridge as we begin things in the third quarter. Titans at 1 point led by 10. They trail by 11 here. Robinson, the man in motion. And they go straight up the middle on 1st and 10 to Lynch. Lynch finds maybe a yard on 1st down.
Yeah, that was just right up the middle, and you got to keep them honest. I mean, running that offense, run a variety of runs and keep them honest. And that's the best thing you can do at this point, because if you allow them to pin their ears back and just come after you, it could be a long, long evening for them. And it looks like they're going to continue to run out of the spread offense here, and I don't blame them. I mean, you've got to change things up, and they've had some success with the spread formation.
Twins right, twins left as Portman takes a low snap under pressure, and he's going to fall forward for a gain of a couple.
Yeah, he got squished. He got rolled up on. He kind of a little gimpy there, and I don't blame him. It was a big man coming down on him.
A minute gone in the third quarter brings up a 3rd down and we'll say 6.
Gain of 2 on the play.
So, man, you don't want to go 3 and out. 3 and out on your first drive that's tough to recover from that, especially when you're down 11 points. So,
well, considering the way the half ended, too, certainly want to, at the very least, move the ball a little bit, pick up a few first downs. It's 3rd and 6, 10.5 to go. Early stages, third quarter. Ortman, a low snap, and he's going to have to escape the pocket, fires one over the middle and incomplete.
Boy, under pressure. 3-man rushes all too, but he bobbled the ball. If he would have been able to stick in there, they actually had good pass protection on Cash Weeks on the far side. If he would have rolled that way, Cash Weeks has been kind of pushed off the ball, so unfortunately bobbled the ball when he on the snap. So, those are the types of the execution that you have to have. Bobbling the ball while your receivers run free and you have a receiver that has over 100 yards, you got to put both sides together.
4th down, Middleton almost blocked another punt. And there is a flag. They may get a roughing the call as Maxwell takes this one up to the 40. If it's a 5-yard penalty, it's not enough for a 1st down. If it's roughing, which it is here, it's going to be a 1st down. And Thunder Ridge getting a break here in the early stages of the third.
Boy, you'll take what you can get. I mean, if that's going to get you the 1st down, any way you can get a 1st down versus in this game, you take it and you move forward. And again, good football teams, Middleton was being hyper aggressive. I watched the rush on that one, and they lined up as they were coming after it. They smelled blood in the water, as you said before. Plus, they already have a block punt, and they thought they could get to him again. But sometimes it goes to backfire. If they drive down and score on this, you might be able to look back at that and say, you know what, maybe we did make the right call going after it.
Yeah. So a breath of new life here for the Titan offense from the 48. Up the middle, across the 40, down to the 39, a pickup of 9 for Lynch. And the Titan offense, good production there on 1st down.
Yeah, you got to like that. And that was nice, a little bit delayed handoff there. Spread him out and let him create some space. A lot of good running teams that will run out of that spread offense. I mean, you never want to point to any old of Mike Leach's, but he would have an effective running game where he would spread everybody out. And there is some method to that madness. If you get enough people spread, then you have bigger lanes. And if you have a good back who can make the first guy miss, you have an opportunity to pick up some good yardage.
Levi Jones, the back now standing to Portman's right, 2nd and short. As they go back to the ground, Jones trying to turn the corner, popped at the 40 and no gain.
Loss of 2 on the play.
They're going to say he lost a couple.
Yeah, he just tried to pop it to the outside, show some speed. Again, we saw Holman come in there, and it's just that sideline to sideline speed. These linebackers and defensive linemen, they just have a speed-oriented front 7 to get after the quarterback and push you to the outside and run you down, and that's exactly what they did.
3rd down and 3 now from the 41. I've not seen much of the wing team much at all since the opening possessions of the game. They go spread here on 3rd and short. Portman to throw, quick, outside, it's caught, first down, Thunder Ridge.
Boy, that was a big-time play. That's only going to go down as maybe an 8-9 yard gain, but that was a big-time play. That out route, and he threw it exactly where his man had to catch it. Stepped and fired, and he read the man coverage on the outside. Fantastic job.
Preston McDaniel, the tight end, on the reception, and that's almost exactly what you got to do with the freshman quarterback in a big spot. Give him quick one-look reads. So they throw it to the tight end as soon as he cuts here. 1st and 10 from the 35 now. 4 minutes gone, 8 to go in the third. Portman, another bad snap, has to pick it up at the 45, throws this one down the far sideline, and it's incomplete.
Hey, good for him. Threw the ball away. Unfortunately, these snaps are killing him. I think that's the 3rd one that we've seen tonight.
Yep, 3rd one on this drive.
Yeah. Okay, let alone tonight. I think it's probably like the 6th one then because he's had some previous ones. Boy, that's tough to get any kind of rhythm, too. When your head's down, you can't see the play develop, and also when you look up and you have people, ears pinned back and coming after you, just tough to get that momentum and get that rhythm to get the ball out to the receiver.
Yeah, and you just got to be thinking mentally, you have a young quarterback. The last thing you want him to be thinking about is for him to be worried about if he's going to get the snap.
Yeah, you need to be thinking about other things. What's my read? What coverage are they in? Where's my hot route?
2nd and 10. Portman going to throw another quick out. This one's going to be caught by Robinson at the 30. And they get about half of what they need here on 2nd down to pick up a 5.
Boy, big-time throw, though. I mean, I'm liking him. I'm liking this freshman quarterback. He stood in there, saw his man come open, he threw it. Now, Middleton is giving him that. They offered him. They said, hey, look, we're going to let you find the open man, and it's not going to be that hard. We're going to keep everything in front of us. Middleton's banking on something, a playmaker making a play right here. But that's a good job. Find your open man and throw it to him.
Right now, at least, this is a 3rd and 5 right now coming up. But this really is one of the first sustained drives we've seen from Thunder Ridge tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
17 points are the two big hitters and then the field goal.
Yeah, stringing together plays, got to feel good.
Trips right on 3rd and 5. Portman again, a quick hitter to the outside, caught again, and McDaniel another 3rd down pickup.
Kind of looking easy right now. I mean, Middleton's playing off of him, and they're doing that on purpose, and they're trying to goad him into making a mistake, but he's showing a ton of poise and moxie back there as he's just hitting these guys. It was a quick, very decisive throw, too, and good quick grab. These receivers are doing a good job running the defender off of them, too, getting him backpedaling, coming back for those comeback routes.
1st down and 10, now from the 23. Portman staying in the gun. And a read option and nowhere to go here. Cash Weeks drops him for a loss of 3.
Yeah, and you've got to try it, right? Like, you can't keep going to do the same thing over and over. Maybe you can, I don't know. But historically, it's been tough to keep repeating the same thing over and over. So at some point, you do have to try a little bit of something different. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to those out routes. And whatever receiver has the defender at least 6 yards off of him, that's where the ball's going.
Yeah. And, as a former DB and current DB in a flag football league right now, you run those outs on me a couple times, they might be sitting on them.
You might be, and then that's where it's a go.
Sitting on them.
And then it's a go out and go.
Yeah, you're right. Perfect time to call the go. 2nd and 13. Portman going to throw. Portman some time as he rolls out to the right. Slings this one, and it's intercepted. Down the far sideline. This one could be 6 the other way. Across the 30 to the 20. Touchdown, Middleton. Another pick 6 for the Vikings. Josh Jordan takes it back this time.
No, I think that was Weston Mills. Weston Mills, it looks like, had that, and he read that route, and unfortunately, Portman rolled out of there and thought he saw something, but at the end of the day, I mean, he looks like he was sitting on it, to your point. If you're a defensive back, and you've seen that a few times, you're sitting until he jumps at. I don't know if we have the right guys. Do we have the right guys? It was number 8, wasn't it? I think it was 8.
Weston Mills.
Yeah. All right, so Weston Mills, the Mills family, congratulations. Your boy just got the pick six, a massive pick six. That looks like that was almost a 85-yard pick six.
Yeah, and it was a great drive for Thunder Ridge too, and the last thing that the Titans needed there, as Weston Mills, the junior, again, it was another pick six caused by pressure.
Yeah, pressure, and he was scrambling. I mean, he probably should have just hung on to the ball. He had some open space in front of him, some green, but, you know, that's a young kid trying to do maybe a little bit too much. I guess 75 yards is what they're calling it at this point.
Yeah. So half of the third quarter now gone. Our score 34-17. The Vikings, a bit of a slow start, but starting to right the ship here on homecoming.
Yeah, and they're doing it in ways that we didn't think they would. I mean, not that they couldn't, but, you know, they have 2 scores on defense, a block punt, a couple big plays over the top. You know, it's not the typical Viking offense that we thought we'd see. By the way, they're 14-14 half, Meridian Highland, but then Bishop Kelly up huge, 35-0 over Valley View at halftime.
So 6:01 to go here in the third, as Middleton getting set to kick it away. And again, if you're Thunder Ridge, they did a lot of things well on that last drive, but
yeah, and you hate to say moral victories and, hey, take the wins and this and that, but, boy, you did some good things, and you got to build off of those if you're coach.
here comes another onside kick. It's not going to go far enough, and Thunder Ridge wisely just going to watch that one come to a rest at the 43. So, well, here you go, short field.
Fantastically short field.
Yeah.
You know, I talked about it before. Maybe you do practice a couple things that you may pull out later on, you know, come playoff time or some different games, and that may just be what that is. You know, I don't think they really think they need to get the ball back, being up as big as they are, but it looks like maybe they're doing some of the practicing onside kicks when necessary in a little bit of a live action setting.
So 1st and 10 now for Thunder Ridge. They're going to start at the 43. Portman to the ground on 1st down as they go to Jones. Jones picks up about a yard.
Yeah, and I don't. There's no quit in this Thunder Ridge team, and I do like that. I do appreciate that, and that's a good coach. That's a coach getting his kids ready for every single set of downs. Unfortunately, you're kind of looking at an uphill battle here. 5:30 left in the third quarter. And they are, but they're battling. I think as a coach, you got to take a little bit of heart in that.
5:20 left to go in the third. Thunder Ridge twins right, twins left. Here on 2nd down and 9. Portman, the freshman quarterback, a pair of touchdowns, but those came back in the first quarter. Slings this one over the middle, almost intercepted again.
Yeah, they're starting to see a little bit better now. They're almost telegraphing the play. I mean, they told the linebacker, jump those slant routes. That's exactly what he did. Well, that's a tough one. Yeah, Portman's done a good job. I mean, he's just a freshman. He's going to be learning from these mistakes, and Coach Berger on the sidelines got to be saying, it's my young kid out there. You know, let's maybe protect him, call some simple plays. That was actually a simple play call, throw the slant route, but linebacker jumped that.
Brings up a 3rd and 9 now, 5:08, empty sets here for Portman. And he'll throw. Portman going to roll out to the right. Cash Weeks there again.
Yeah, tough to run away from those guys. You had Cash Weeks, and you had Drew Holman. Pashi Franks was giving pressure on the outside too. Tough to run away from those guys. You know, we've heard coaches say this may be some of the best linebacking crew that they've seen / defensive end, with both Holmans, Pachi Franks, and Cash Weeks, let alone the fact those guys are big-time players on the offensive side of the ball.
So punt formation now for the Titans. 4.5 to go in the third quarter. And they get this punt cleanly away. Maxwell on the run at the 18, trying to reverse field. Maxwell still on his feet and brought down at the 25. So now the Middleton offense retaking the field. Been a while since they have been on the field.
Yeah, been a while. So when you're scoring points on defense, sometimes the offense doesn't need to do too much. I would like to see Middleton get back to what they do well, which is run the ball, be effective with the run game. You know, they ran the student body right and the student body left. Well, CUNA runs the student body right, student body left, and they do that really well. I'd like to see Middleton do something like that. Pull the offside guard, maybe tackle, bring one of the Holmans across and lead up and let Franks or the other Holman carry the ball, or even just let Cash Weeks hold on to it.
This drive starting from the 35, and here's Franks up across the 30. And you said you'd like to see Middleton do Middleton things. There it is, right there.
That, my friends, was a Middleton thing. Yeah, I just feel like they need to get really good at what they do well to carry them deep into the playoffs. And a lot of that is ball control and being able to blow some people off the line and pick up 6-7 yards a carry.
2nd and 3. We're under 4 minutes to play now in the third quarter. As Weeks in the shotgun, trips to his right. He'll throw, looking right. Launches this one towards the sideline, and it's caught by Leonard. Thunder Ridge thought they might have had a pick right in their hands.
So great catch by Leonard, but terrible read and throw by Weeks. And he's even saying that right now. He's like, my bad, guys. I shouldn't even have thrown that. And he really set up and he threw that. Now, fortunately, just out of the hands of the defender, the Thunder Ridge defender, he did have a couple guys crossing in front of Leonard that I thought maybe that were open. But, well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, that's exactly what Middleton was there. It was Max Budikofer in coverage for the Titans. Almost had an interception. Instead, it's a Viking first down to the 41. Weeks to throw again. Here comes pressure. This screen pass a little bit off target. And having to knock it away is Severa.
Yeah, and good call. Thunder Ridge bringing some heat, and that's what you're going to have to do. You risk getting a big play busted out on you, but my goodness, you're down, 18 points at this point. Why not just send it all? I mean, it's got to be a high-risk, high-reward type defense from here on out to try and get Middleton off the field. Because if not, they're going to just do Middleton things and run and control the football. I do see them trying to, again, maybe practice a little bit here, some plays that they will want down the road. But I would prefer to see them. Now, I'm not the coach, just a lowly commentator.
On second down, Franks is going to have a first down, but we do have a flag back at the 45. And this one likely coming back. As Pachi Franks been a little bit quiet tonight.
Franks with 13 yards.
And he's going to have what was probably his biggest run of the night called back for a hold.
It's going to be against the Vikings.
Yeah, that hurts execution-wise, right? I mean, this whole game just boils down to execution. If you can execute what you're doing, then you're going to win the game. And we talked about it before. You're going to make a deep run. You got to be good at what you do, and doing Middleton things and holding calls are going to get you every time. Boy, that was incredibly cliche. Of course holding calls are going to get you every time. I mean, it wasn't much to say on that. Like, hey, you got a holding call, but you also had a 13-yard run that maybe the holding wasn't even necessary.
Right. So 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Down to 2.5 to go in the third quarter. Weeks all day to throw. Delivers over the middle. It's incomplete.
I just let him a little too much. He just had a small step, and I do like that Weeks led him how he did. It's funny. You see him sitting back there, and he just knows he has all kinds of times. He has a big, good offensive line. He kind of pats the ball a little bit like, come on, guys, get open. And he throws it. So I do like where he led it. There was no high, deep safety help, and so he put it where only his man had a chance.
Looking for Severa on that throw. So 3rd down and 16 now. 2:23 left to play here in the third frame.
Packed house, homecoming night tonight. Boy, I tell you, Middleton shows up. Good job, folks.
Trips right on this 3rd and long. Weeks escapes the pressure right, throws on the run, pass is caught down to the 49, right near the sticks. Severa on the reception, and they're going to mark him short.
Boy, that was a bad That was a bad spot. There was nobody there to see it, so I don't blame him. But, yeah, I mean, from where we were, we saw where he caught the ball, and that was probably about 1.5 yards short of where he caught it. But that being said, it was interesting to watch Weeks on that play. He knew he wasn't going down, so he sat there and just waited and waited and waited for it to develop.
So 4th down and 1. Middleton's going to go for it. Weeks under center, power right, 1st down.
Yeah, I mean, there was no doubt about that. And so number 88, I'm going to tell you what, that's my Rudy Player of the Year. It's Trevor Vincent, the sophomore 5'9", 145-pound linebacker. Took Weeks on, and he knew he was going to lose that battle, and Weeks knew he was going to win, but boy, he stuck his nose in there. He was playing middle linebacker at $145.
Yeah. That's smaller than I was in high school, and I was small.
It's amazing how much bigger kids are these days, though. It's just shocking to me.
About a minute to go. They're going to run the speed option. Weeks is going to keep it between the hash marks. Makes one man miss and falls forward to the 37. Another Middleton 1st down.
Yeah, and that's a Middleton thing right there, right? Like they're doing Middleton things. And getting on the outside, letting their quarterback run and make some yards. Big kid, tough to bring down.
So under a minute to play now in the 3rd quarter, approaching 45 seconds, clock moving. Here for this Middleton 1st down at the 37. Shotgun set, twins right, twins left here for Weeks. On 1st and 10, he'll throw. Weeks, time. He's going to throw this one down the far side of the field. Incomplete pass was underthrown, and a flag comes out.
Boy, that's tough. That's underthrown, you know. It is a pass interference, so I'm not going to argue that, but that's a tough one on the defender. He doesn't, you know. Weeks didn't even give his guy a chance to catch the ball. And it's crazy with the big as arms he had that he underthrows him. And got to dial that in a little bit more, you know how to throw that. And he does. That's the crazy thing. I've seen him throw that multiple times.
It was Jaron
they may wave this off.
Yeah, I mean, the pass was underthrown. It was Jaron Sauter in coverage.
Nope, I lied.
Yep.
They're gonna give it to him. Severely underthrown. It's almost one of those things. I don't know if he even had a chance to catch it, but neither here nor there. Penalty was called.
So Middleton now 1st and 10 from the 22. 29 seconds left to play here in the 3rd. Weeks, play action. Weeks going to throw this one to the end zone, and the pass is caught. Touchdown, Middleton. They got Colton Svedra again, and the Vikings extend the lead.
See, and just when we talked about that arm strength, I mean, he just simple flick, and he got it over the top where only this guy could get it. I mean, that's a huge throw. I mean, if you don't know football and this is your first time watching, that's not normal. Normal quarterbacks don't just flick it like that and put it where only his man can get it. And Severa on the edge made the catch. Fantastic, just ran underneath it. Well executed, and that's a Middleton thing right there too. Run, run, run. Okay, then we're going to hit you over the top. Touchdown, and this team's looking more and more dangerous after starting out a little bit slow. And from the outside, extra point was good, by the way, folks. From the outside, if you're looking at this prior to this touchdown, saying, hey, Thunder Ridge hung 17 on these guys. I mean, they're hanging with them, and yeah, that's the case. But it was 2 big plays, right? 2 big plays, and outside of that, not a lot. Not doing a lot after that.
35 unanswered from Middleton. This game was 17-7 at one point in the 1st quarter. And Middleton, a couple big plays here, a pick 6 there, blocked punt over here, and now they have a 42-17 lead.
Yeah, and it's in the 3rd quarter. You know, this thing it's at some point they're going to take their foot off the gas a little bit, and this is again okay. So this is turning out how we thought it was going to turn out, but what did you learn, right? What did we learn? Well, we learned Thunder Ridge is maybe a little undermanned, but they have a good scheme. They have a promising freshman quarterback. You know, they have the senior receiver who's done a good job of putting some plays together, and the play calling has been fantastic. I mean, they're trying to catch Middleton, you know, in some schemes where they're not going to be able to defend it, and they absolutely did. So hand it to Thunder Ridge for hanging 17 on a really, really good Middleton football team.
Robinson's going to watch this one roll into the end zone. So 21 seconds to go, third quarter. And now Thunder Ridge retaking the field once again here late third quarter. And for Middleton, I think the way that they had responded, because we were sitting there midway through the first quarter thinking, oh, here we go.
Yeah, well, boy, tough to kind of pick this apart. I mean, other than giving up a few big plays and some boneheaded penalties here and there, which happened. I mean, those happen. It's tough to kind of pick a flaw in this Middleton team.
We're going to go with Robinson up the middle, and Robinson picks up 8 on first down. Could be the final play of the third quarter.
Showed some good footwork there. Got out of that. That was pretty slick. Here's the crazy thing. These guys, Middleton is not a typical 5'8" team in the sense that a lot of their players go both ways. If you go to a Meridian, Rocky, Mountain View, a lot of those guys are one way, and that's it. That's all they play. But you'll see Middleton, but they rotate a lot of guys through that to keep them fresh. That's how they do it.
Yeah, so we played 3 here from Middleton. We'll pause and bring in the fourth quarter. Right after this, Middleton 42-17.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy. It takes courage and determination to do hard things. Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Start of the fourth quarter here on homecoming from Middleton. The Vikings comfortably leading this one as we play out the final 12 minutes. 42-17. Hasn't been that way the whole night, though, as they wrap up Robinson for a short game. This game at one point was led by 2 scores by Thunder Ridge. 17-7 was our score at one point late in the third quarter.
Yeah, and
since then, 35 unanswered.
35 unanswered, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. Thunder Ridge showing a ton of heart and good play calling. A little undermanned here and playing a very good, and we've said it probably 8 times, outside state champion hopeful team here in Middleton, having a lot of the pieces that they need to get it put together. So.
Third and short, Portman in trouble, hit as he throws, and this one's going to come to rest at the 45. Under pressure again, Cash Weeks has been forced to be reckoned with at the defensive end position. Thunder Ridge has had a hard time blocking him all night.
So, good athletes in high school can play anywhere, all over the field, and you'll see them making a difference. Some of these Middleton defenders, they're looking like college prospects, the way they're reaching for guys and closing that distance, and some of the pass rush moves that I'm seeing from these kids, that's a well-coached football team, and that's your quarterback, by the way. That's your quarterback getting after the quarterback. There's another one.
Middleton has blocked their second punt of the night, and this one is down at the 30-yard line. Pachi Franks got in and blocked that one, and with 11:04 to go in the fourth quarter here in the game tonight, Middleton well on their way to a homecoming victory.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, they figured something out. Push up the middle, get some pressure, and we'll go get that football.
Seems like that's really where things kind of turned, is when Middleton figured out that they could pressure Portman, pressure the punts. And they've just been the better team on the defensive front. And here's one of them who has a couple sacks tonight in Weeks as he gives off to Cole Holman. Cole Holman finds a couple. Can't say enough about Cash Weeks tonight, what he has been able to do at the defensive end position. We think of him so much as the quarterback of this Middleton team, but defensively he's been outstanding tonight.
Yeah, phenomenal. He's thrown a couple of touchdown passes. And he's rushed for a touchdown, and he's done a lot of things. He's been involved on every offensive touchdown, and along with that long 2-point conversion. But then defensively is where it looks like he's really made his mark.
Back to Cole Holman here on second down, breaks a tackle, and Holman is all the way up to the 19, and it's another Middleton first down. 10:20 to go in this one, and Middleton, they thought they might get to this point a little sooner than they did here tonight, but they're at the point now where they're just kind of grinding things out.
Yeah, and I hate to use the analogy. Thunder Ridge is in white, and Holman is wearing a dark color, and when he runs, he sees a lot of these bowling pins bouncing off of him, and it legit looks like bowling pins going all over the place. The way he puts and he moves the ball forward, it's funny's not the right word, but entertaining.
Weeks play action was looking for Leonard, and it's incomplete. Pass is a little bit low. Clock stops it. 9:47 to go here in the fourth and final quarter. So Middleton was set in the open, 2-2 coming into tonight. A team that could very well be 4-0 if a few things go their way against Rocky and Meridian. That was kind of the story last year for Middleton as well. They were new to the 5A level. They beat the teams that you might expect them to beat, but couldn't beat the big dogs in the SIC, so to speak. And this is going to be a false start. It's going to push them back 5. That being said, they did win a playoff game last year.
They did, yeah. In fact, you and I did it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that playoff game, and they beat Capital.
Yes.
Because they played Capital, and then they turned around and played them again back-to-back weeks. Yeah, and we talked about some of the tiers at the beginning of the season, the perceived tiers, right? So you had the top tier of 5A high school football, and those were the typical, the people that you always see, the Mountain View, Rocky, Meridian, Eagle. That's who we had in the Valley, and then we talked about Rigby on the far side and Highland. And so we have, what do we call them, 6 teams is what we usually say vie for a state championship. That said, complete pass, Weeks finds his man over the middle. That was
Leonard.
No.
Jeez. Numbers are all over the place.
Yeah, they are. Number 6, was that Carvalho? No, that's way too big. Number 9. That was number 9. Blake Bishop. Yeah, that's I should have known that one. Anyway. Yeah, so we talked about that. And then we said, where does Middleton fit in? We said they're on the upper tier of that upper crust of that middle tier. And that middle tier being, some of the teams. Nampa was in that middle tier last year. Oh, wow.
Weeks to the corner of the end zone, and that pass is caught by Leonard.
Oh, wow.
Another Middleton touchdown, and the Vikings put 6 more up on the board, and Leonard just went up and won that jump ball.
Boy, Cash Weeks looks like an all-state player, all-SIC player right now. He's throwing some absolute dimes through it, throws that one over the top, and Leonard went up and got it. And he put it literally where only Leonard could get it, that fade route in that far end zone. It was a post-corner route. Got him turned around, and we saw it fading away from us. I mean, it was a perfect angle for me to the far post. Fantastic job, great touch.
Extra point is up and good, and make it 42 unanswered now for Middleton.
Yeah, they may start letting people letter by putting some of the backups in at this point. I mean, no reason to risk injury, but, you kind of got a feel for Thunder Ridge. They came over here, made the trek, hung in the first half, did the best they could. Probably did the best they could. Yeah. I mean, we're going to leave it at that. They hung 17 points on this team, and I think it was very well earned. They'll be able to go back and watch some film, hopefully learn from this.
Yeah, and when you're the underdog coming into a game like this, it's a long road trip. You're playing one of the better teams in the state. You feel like you only have so many punches you could throw in a game.
Fair.
And
yeah.
Thunder Ridge threw all of them in the first quarter.
All of them. And I think you had to.
Yeah.
I mean, scared them a little bit and got them a little bit out of there.
You couldn't have asked for a better first quarter tonight from Thunder Ridge. Couldn't have asked for it.
No, that was absolute. Very well. It's almost like, they talk about some of the teams, the old 49ers used to do it back in the day with Bill Walsh. They'd have their first 14 plays scripted, and that was what they were going to run regardless of the situation. And it feels like they had hey, these are some of the plays that we are going to run, and executed very well.
This kick is going to roll into the end zone. So with 9 minutes left to go, 49-17, Middleton taking control of this homecoming night here on their home turf, well on their way to a 3-2 record.
You know, and talking a little bit more about some of those crusts and where we see Middleton fitting in, you know, let's talk about some more of the surprises. We saw Boise. I mean, they've been a surprise. Bora's been a surprise.
Yeah, Bora 4-1 entering tonight. You know, obviously Eagle 4-0, but Kuna sitting there at 3-2. Mountain View 3-2 after last night. Hawaii 3-2. Nampa at 0-4, but kind of a log jam there in the river pot of the SIC.
Yeah.
As Robinson on the end-around jet sweep crosses the 20 down to the 21.
Yeah, now some kids getting some playing time now, and that's good to see. But the way I see this is I think, this is just me, I think Boise's for real, okay? Now, are they state champion material? I don't know, but I do know that you're going to have to go through Boise to win the state championship. At some point, somebody's going to have to run into them. And you look at the far side, and I think Rigby's been a huge disappointment. Luke Flowers, I think, is a phenomenal quarterback. Led him to 2 state championships. I just think they lost too many people, too many manpower, and they got really exposed when they played some of the Utah teams that came up from the Wasatch Front. And then, you know, you start looking at Meridian, and Meridian, you and I, well, we talked about it, and Meridian should have beat Eagle the first game. And then turned around and then lost to Mountain View. And I think a lot of people have written Meridian off. I think if they get that defense righted and they get Zeke Martinez maybe throwing the ball downfield a little better, connecting instead of relying a lot of that lateral and the Riley Byingtons and the Marcos Del Rios too much, I think that they're going to be right back there in the mix. Rocky, to me, is a crapshoot. I don't know if you're going to get the big physical, you know, we're going to bust something big on you, or if you're getting a, hey, we're going to play conservative, we're just throwing a lot of swing routes, a lot of, you know, short and underneath stuff. So I think Middleton legit has a shot. If you're going to disrupt 5A high school football at any time, this is the year to do it.
You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, because, you know, we talked all last year, you know, about the tiers, and to me the tiers are much less clear than they were last year. You know, to your point, if there's a year to break through, this is the year to do it.
Yeah, and it's almost like Middleton has the cards stacked just right. I mean, they lost their senior quarterback last year, who's playing football at Idaho State now, as a safety, by the way, not as a quarterback. But
Maxwell, that went off his leg. The ball is loose down at the 42. A mad scramble for it on the sideline.
Yeah, they're going to give it to Middleton because they knocked it out. But, boy, see, those are the things, good football team, you can't do that, right? If you want a state championship, you can't do that because a good football team is going to cover that. And they're going to pick up that, and there's going to be huge field position swing and probably ride that momentum for a score. And that's where Middleton has to tighten this up through the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that was kind of exactly the point I was going to make there. If there is one flaw in Middleton's game, it seems like the offense is moving and grooving, and then they get a holding penalty. You know, they're 7 minutes midway through the fourth quarter, you do something like that where a punt goes off your leg, you know, and it just seems like, to me at least, this is my opinion, is I think there's going to be a moment in the playoffs where something like that is going to happen and it's going to hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where you're going to have to, again, we talk about tightening it up, and now we have, is this Cole in at quarterback?
Drew
Holman, this is Drew, younger brother Drew.
Drew Holman, now the quarterback, is Frank's still in the game at running back, and he's been bottled up pretty much for the night. He hasn't done a whole lot tonight as Frank's.
Yeah, he's got to be a little frustrated, you know. That's hey, he's done a good job on defense. He had the punt block that led to another touchdown. So it's not like he hasn't contributed, but it's not the typical Pachi Franks that we've seen, you know, gash people. And I talked about being a bowling ball. Yeah, yeah. Well, and to that point, to kind of finish up or continue with the conversation, you know, if you're going to be, let's see, it's just little things like that, right? Like Pachi Franks typically keeps his feet on that, and it's almost like he's expecting more contact than's there. So anyway, you know, I see Middleton as having all these pieces. They have two legit big backs that can move the ball and are show good speed on the outside. So I don't think that's a question. I think Cash Weeks has shown a very strong arm, fantastic touch over the top, and he's thrown 3 touchdown passes tonight. And then you have some playmakers on the outside between Leonard and Bishop, a couple big-bodied receivers. And that offensive line, we've seen them be big and physical across the board. So they have some great pieces on offense. And then I'm looking at defense. This is where you need to pitch, buddy. Oh, see.
And fumble is going to be recovered by Thunder Ridge. And you called it. He needed to pitch it. He didn't. And
yeah.
It's recovered by the Titans. Trenton Furman on the fumble recovery. And Thunder Ridge will take over. That's kind of what I was, I get it. You're not running the offense that you're probably running in a 7-point game in the state quarterfinals, right? But,
right.
If there's a weakness with Middleton, it's that.
Yeah, untimely mistakes, things that they just need to tighten up, because if they're functioning, if they're hitting on all cylinders, I would put, I'd stand them up against almost anybody at this point.
Sure.
And especially when they can run that ball control type offense where they're gashing you and they're hitting you with some of these big backs. Now, the flip side is on defense, and we've talked about it. They live and die by the speed defense, right? Fast linebackers, side-to-side coverage, sideline-to-sideline coverage, and a little bit smaller defensive line, but they shoot a lot of gaps and they try to get a lot of penetration. So with a big offensive line.
This is going to be a screen pass on first down going between the hash marks and brought down at the 40. Pass was caught by Mason Turvale, who had a few carries on the last drive as well. And so it's going to be second down and 3.
Second and 3, yeah. And this defense has a lot of the big pieces that you want. Now, we talked about these guys going 2 ways, right? A lot of these kids are 2-way players, and that's okay as long as you're getting them rest and you can, string out, say you get 60, 50 snaps a game and you divide them between offense and defense, that's fine. You just worry about them maybe running out of gas before they get to that state championship game.
To go back to Turville here on second down. He's still on his feet. He's going to have a first down up to the 35. So Thunder Ridge moves the chains. We're under 5 minutes to play. And, I know we don't see as much of the eastern Idaho schools, but, Rigby obviously isn't what some thought they could be, coming off those state championship runs. Seems like Highland's going to be right there. They're always right there. And Madison sitting with a record over 500 as well at a 3-2 record.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even count out Rigby at this point either. Nothing. We don't know what's going to happen, as they do still have some conference play coming up.
Maxwell breaks that one up as Ortman trying to make something happen over the middle. Pass falls incomplete, but we'll run through the standings over in District 5-6. As it stands right now, these are the standings, and keep in mind that there's only been one conference game played. So right now, Madison is in first place with that 3-2 record because they beat Thunder Ridge. That's the only conference game that's been played. But you have Highland, who's sitting there at 4-0. Rigby's 1-3, but again has played some really good Utah teams.
They have, yeah.
And then Thunder Ridge with that 0-5 record. As they're going to try the right side and pick up a first down. That again, Harker, who's had a great game tonight for Thunder Ridge, a pair of touchdown receptions, and he picks up a first down here.
Yeah, and he's done it from multiple positions. They'll line him up in the backfield, and again, like I said, it's not often you see a 6'4", 190-pound running back with number 85.
Yeah,
and he does a good job with it. He's picked up some yardage out of the backfield, but the most of his damage has come from those deep balls.
Back to the wing tee here. We haven't seen this one in a while, and it's going to be another first down as they try it with Levi Jones straight off the left guard. He picks up another first down. So Thunder Ridge, it's two offenses that are just two totally different looks, philosophies, everything. It's just different.
And they run it with the same personnel, and that's what I find interesting.
Yeah.
You talk about being diverse in what you can and can't do.
Back to the wing tee, and this one's going to lose yards. Jones again, and he goes backwards.
Yeah, he goes backwards, and that was Holman who did it. So, I look at Meridian runs a form of the wing tee. A little form of the wing tee. They'll run a couple backs back there, and they'll line up Martinez under center, and it's kind of fun to see what they do with that. But they also have some hosses up front. I mean, boy, they have the I think what's his name, Malher. Oh, what's his name? Big kid. Last year he was 6'4", 285. This year he's 6'4". I think they listed him at 320. He's a big boy. It's getting a little chippy too. I don't know if you've noticed out there, but there's some trash talking, and that's a pretty ball. Oh, what a pretty ball.
It's another touchdown for Harker. It's his 3rd touchdown reception of the night.
Boy, and if that's a sign of what's to come from Portman, the quarterback, I'm all in. I mean, that was a beautiful ball, fade
3
route.
touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, just a deep. And he has thrown 2 pick sixes, but he throws that fade ball to the corner to a 6'4" receiver, and that thing was spinning going away from us. Absolutely gorgeous on that fade route.
Yeah, Harker, you have him listed on the roster as 6'1", 170, as the extra point is up and good. I mean, just watching it from the top of the press box, I think he looks a little smaller than that. I could be wrong. Who knows? But he spins it, though.
Everybody's an inch or 2 taller and 10 to 15 pounds heavier, okay? Let's be honest. It's just reality when you're on the roster. But, no, that was a beautiful ball. I mean, and he's funny. He's a freshman. So I think sky's the limit for him. And, he's somebody that you can build your team around, knowing that you're going to have that in your back pocket. He will have a ton of varsity starting experience playing at the highest level, some of these best teams, and executing plays like that. I think that's critical if you want to develop a good football culture, develop it around somebody who's going to win ball games for you, and then let that carry on as it goes forward.
Yeah, and obviously Thunder Ridge, the newest school in that Idaho Falls area, and kind of got thrown right into it a little bit. They're a 5A school. They've been 5A since they opened, so then that's not the case for some of those other Idaho Falls schools. Hillcrest 4A, Idaho Falls 4A, Hillcrest 4A.
Skyline, you mean?
Skyline. Yeah. Bonneville's been
4A,
bouncing back and forth. But Thunder Ridge has been 5A
since the inception. Yep, here it is. Yeah, and that's tough, too, because, you get thrown in and you're playing instantly Rigby, Madison, Highland. Those are all those 5A teams. And the way they designed it typically, so there is a method to the madness. So every school to be built in, we'll call it the Treasure Valley from here on out, they're going to be building 5A schools. Yeah. That's just what it is. It's zoned for 5A. In fact, I think next year, well, when they do when they flip it and they go to the 6A, and they're taking the Division I and the Division II out of 1A, and they're just making it 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 6A. You'll only see 5 or 6 schools eventually, 5 schools in all the valley that are going to be in that 5A classification. The rest are all going to be Southern Idaho, North Idaho, and East Idaho. And that's where you'll see like the Bishop Kellys of the world maybe petition to go up to, play some school. So anyway, but over in East Idaho, that's what they did at Idaho Falls. They built it for a certain size. This is how many students it's going to be, and they capped it at that. And this one broke the mold with Thunder Ridge.
So another new quarterback in on this drive for Middleton. C.J. Cottle, the new quarterback.
Yeah, Cottle's a senior, getting some snaps here, typically receiver. Looks like they're trying to get everybody some playing time right now. They do have the offensive line out there, though, with the exception of a couple players.
2:07 left to play as Cottle in the pistol sets, and they run it right. And there's a violent collision at the 28.
Jake Perez.
He has the picks, one of the 2 pick sixes tonight. The first one that really kind of got Middleton going again.
Yeah, he did. He was able to do that. He shows quick feet. I mean, you watch those things move, and he's like, "Andale, muchacho, let's do this." Yeah. And showing some really fast footwork. Totally opposite of the Holmans and the Pachi Franks of the world. I mean, he's a smaller, quicker, scat back type player.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting if they could, obviously, it had impact on the game tonight defensively, obviously, with the interception return for a touchdown as Perez gets another carry. But If you could sprinkle in some speed in that backfield every now and then as well, especially when you go to those shotgun sets. We know Middleton can pound the football all night long, but if you can add another element to that offense, I think that offense just becomes a little bit better too.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, look at him. There he goes. This is 6.
Perez to the 40.
Oh, maybe not.
Caught at the 25.
I thought he had that, man.
I thought he did too.
Boy, he was quick, wasn't he? Got to the outside really quick.
Skinner eventually caught up with him and makes the tackle. We're under a minute to play here on homecoming night from Middleton. And at the conclusion of this one, we'll not only have our IdahoSports.com player of the game presented by the Idaho Transportation Department, but the Middleton band's going to do kind of a fun thing after the game is over. They're going to shut off all the lights, and then they're going to do a show with glow sticks.
Are we going to stay on?
We will stay on for it.
Let's do that.
So we'll try to get some sound pumped in for it as well, as Perez again on the left side picks up a couple. And, I don't know, maybe they're experiencing with Perez a little bit. And
yeah, maybe that's the case too. I do know that Skinner, who chased him down, was fast. He looked incredibly fast, and he hasn't had a chance to shine. He's a defensive back and whatnot, but boy, he sure lit it up. So Middleton, big win, homecoming night. More than doubles up the visiting Titans, and I feel like, Thunder Ridge Titans, and I feel like it was probably a little closer than we thought it was going to be, but hats off. Thunder Ridge showed up for as best they could.
Yeah, your final tonight, Middleton winning this one 49-24. We'll step aside on IdahoSports.com. Again, bring you the IdahoSports.com player of the game, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department, and bring you the Middleton Glow Show, I guess. We'll call it that.
We'll call it that.
We're back after this.
Make the memories of this game last a lifetime. By downloading the digital game file of this contest, you can have your own personal copy of this game forever. These make great gifts for the student athletes involved. Just click the Order Now button for more details.
Yeah, I know a little something about myths. Like the myth that speeding isn't dangerous. Oh, and that myth you can tailgate at a safe distance. Or that you can safely weave in and out of traffic. Don't be fooled by myths. You'll get yourself into a hairy situation. Stay focused on the road. Be a legend like me. Have you heard the one about Charlie over in Pay Lake?
Welcome to What If, Idaho, the home of 1,000 paths for those that embrace possibility. There's no better place to be if you're looking for that next career, or just exploring. Life is a wide open door, no matter your age. Here at Next Steps Idaho, you can research careers and training options that work for you, and start a dashboard to keep your plans moving forward, so you can route your path from what if to what is at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
Our army of IdahoSports.com action photographers are covering games all over the state. And now we've revamped our galleries to make it even easier to find and order your favorite action shots. Just go to IdahoSports.com and click the Action Photos link in the menu.
Hello?
I was in an accident.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I have my seatbelt on.
Your final score from Middleton on homecoming, the Vikings 49, Thunder Ridge 24. Lucas Gephardt and Ryan Luke for IdahoSports.com bringing you coverage of this one tonight. Ryan, it looked like it might be trouble early for Middleton. They trailed by 10 in the first quarter, but the Vikings right the ship and cruised to victory tonight on homecoming.
Yeah, cruised to victory, and we saw a lot of what we hoped to see from them. I think it's big, and by the way, one of the Holmans was faking with us. It looks like maybe he did have a little foot injury, but he was jogging around, so we're good to go. But, yeah, I mean, look, we talked about wanting to see Middleton things. Middleton things talk about running the football and then maybe hitting a big play here and there and letting Cash Weeks do the things that he does. I mean, he probably picked up, I think I had him for 4 first down runs of like 3 yards or less, and he was able to pop those through, and so they're able to keep drives going. And then defensively, 2 pick sixes. They played a very, a very undermanned team. They overpowered them. They are obviously the more talented team, and they did what they needed to do. That being said, I think there's still some places and some things they can tighten up before they make a run. Here in the state tournament, obviously special teams is one of those, and they did give up 24 points to Thunder Ridge, who had struggled.
So one thing left to do before we get to the Middleton band tonight, which is getting ready to take the field. To order IdahoSports.com Play of the Game, presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Going with Cash Weeks tonight. We have him down for, 3 passing touchdowns, a running touchdown, and a sack and a few tackles for losses.
I have him 2 sacks, and I have him for 3 tackle for losses, and that's on top of however many tackles he got on his own, just outside of that. But he was a beast on defense. Offensively, showed great touch, threw a couple of just incredible throws to the post corner routes.
Yeah, he looks the part, looks every bit of, that he can run this Middleton offense, and this Middleton team looks good here moving forward.
They do, yeah. They're very confident moving forward, and I think this isn't the last that we've heard of them, and I think they will make some noise. If they end up with only the 2 losses to two really good football teams, I think they're going to get a bid, probably one of the bids to go play in the playoffs. They'll probably have a first-round game. They can't get a bye at this point. They've lost to 2. Right. And they won't be able to win their district. But at the end of the day, I think this is a good football team that the rest of Idaho needs to be put on notice right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is with the loss to Rocky and Meridian, they're not going to win the foothill spot. I mean, they, I guess mathematically still could. They're not going to, but they theoretically still could. But to me, you look forward to the state playoffs, and it all depends on the draw. Because there's going to be a team that maybe they're from up north, maybe they're from out east, but there's going to be a team that's going to look at who they draw. It's going to be Middleton. and they're going to go, are you kidding me?
Dang it. That happened, and quite frankly, they may host the game here too, so you may have to come the full 8 hours down here. You may be looking like at a Post Falls or something that may get that, and having to come play a Middleton team that just is ready. And I mean, this crowd shows up in a great venue, and they'll bludgeon you all game long, and they'll run 220, 225 pounds, and they'll run, on and on. And you get through those first 2 games, and I feel like anything can happen if you're this Middleton team.
Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier in the broadcast, 5A wide open right now. And if you're wondering what we're doing and why we haven't shown the Middleton band yet, we are doing what is called in the industry, it's called stalling. So they have about 4 minutes left up on the clock, and they're just kind of standing there. I don't know if they're counting down to when they're going to take the field, but we are just waiting for them to take the field here. So.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about predictability, and if I were to predict the outcome based on what I've seen so far to date here, Idaho high school football, especially in the Valley, again, on the other side of the state, to me, Highland's an unknown commodity. I have not seen them play. It's 14-14 halftime. Obviously, that game is further along than just the halftime, but nobody's updated the score. But if I were to look at it, I think my team's coming out. I think Rocky's going to have a tough time qualifying. They're going to have to run the table for the rest of the way, right? But I do think that Rocky is a little down this year compared. It's more of a rebuild. That's not saying the talent isn't there. I just think that they haven't put it all together. I think Mountain View is in another rebuild mode too after that Boise game and seeing what I saw. I think Meridian could put it together. They have a ton of experience, but that defense needs to hold it together. I think Eagle, top to bottom, is probably the most talented team. But I think right next to him, I'm going to say Middleton's right there.
Yeah, sure.
I really will in terms of overall talent, because you have a bunch of guys doing a lot of things. It's not isolated to just one or two big players, but there are a lot of kids that can play football on this Middleton team.
All right, so the Middleton band now marching out to midfield, so we'll let them take it away from here, and we'll sign off after the Glow Show. All right, so job well done by the Middleton Marching Band. I've never seen anything like that. That was kind of cool.
That was very cool. My son just leaned over to me. He's like, Dad, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen a marching band do. And they did a really good job. And I'll tell you what was really cool is the end when they played the fight song, right?
Yeah,
and everybody, I mean, the whole crowd here, and nobody's left. I mean, this stadium's still packed.
Yeah.
And everybody's all after it. So fantastic job. I mean, I'll tell you what, Middleton does a great job. Great production here, guys.
Yeah, a night to celebrate for sure here in Middleton. A 49-24 homecoming win over Thunder Ridge. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of Treasure Valley Game Night. Coverage on IdahoSports.com. There we go.
There it is.
Is presented by Project Filter, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Valley-wide Cooperative, Next Steps Idaho, your local Toyota dealer, and the Idaho Transportation Department. Special thanks to the whole staff here at Middleton for their hospitality and getting these games broadcast to you, the viewer. Congratulations again to our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game, Cash Weeks. That is presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Once again, your final tonight from Middleton on homecoming. The Vikings 49, Thunder Ridge 24. Middleton improving to 3-2. Thunder Ridge still looking for their first win of the year, but we'll see you next week here on IdahoSports.com. Signing off for Ryan Luke, my name is Lucas Gephardt. We'll see you next week.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to Idaho